Hello, everybody. Welcome to Season 2 of Very Angry Dogs. Today will be Chapter 2 with Storyteller Chris Allen. As usual, players here joining us today. We've got Jack, aka Stormbringer, played by Keith Miller. We've got Johnny Galloway, played by Pete Golsevsky. We've got Harmonious Flame, also known as Marta Strojek, played by Agna Allen, and of course we have myself, Bill, aka Thornbreaker. My name is Dan Prisco Bucksbaum. Without further ado, I'm going to be tossing it over to
Everyone else is very
Chris
small.
to give you guys a little catch up as to what happened last chapter. Chris, why don't you take it away?
Hello, and as usual, content warning for occult paranoia, gore, extreme violence, and general misery, because this is werewolf and people tend to die in horrible ways. It's very likely to happen today, given the first scene involves a maniac with a chainsaw. So, where did we leave it off last time? The pack, after a month digging into their territory, or the center of their territory, have been spurred into action after a prophetic dream from the Cahalith, the gibbous moon, Thornbreaker, was followed by a call from wolf-blooded ally whose sister had been attacked by something that sounded a lot like Bashilu, the dreaded rat hosts. A little bit of investigation led them at Jenny's home to find that her cousin is here, Marta, who is also a werewolf, back from a long time away, and surprised to see the pack here. Leaping into action, the pack tracked down their prey, the Bashilu who had killed devoured someone at Possession, the nightclub, who led them to the nicer part of Gleesham, a tranquil little house behind its tall hedges, where they found a little old lady and her carer, who turned out to be considerably more than they seem. Where we are now, at the beginning of this scene, at the top of the stairs in this house, past the piled books, as if someone's had so many pages of work to go through, they've simply piled books and books and books everywhere. It's like a whole library's worth of stuff here, spilling off shelves, piled up around the place. Past those upstairs, past the curiously for show bathroom, the stern-faced old woman is standing there. Her carer has been hauled up. She basically threw him behind her to protect him after Thornbreaker gave him a bit of a chewing. He's looking shocked. She had just been trying to convince someone at the door not to come in, someone strange and monstrous who seems very eager to protect her. At the base of the stairs is Stormbringer, or almost part way up them. The rest of the pack are all in the hallway, essentially. And coming through the door at this instant is Maul, or the one called Maul by the old woman, by the flame ghast. Maul is a Bashilu. He is a rat host. Specifically, he is what's called a Rokan. Rokan are late-stage Bashilu infestations. He has taken a human body and made it his own, warped it and twisted it with cancerous growths, lean, powerful sinews of muscle, into something that is between human and rat. He's clad in clothes, something like a maintenance man's clothes, but poorly maintained, tattered. And he is, most of note, wielding a chainsaw. The chainsaw is running, and he is coming through the door with it. So we're going to start this session rolling for initiative as a chainsaw-wielding rat comes through the door.
All right, hold on one second, just real quick. Ag, you said you were having an issue where whoever was talking was really big and everyone else was small?
Oh, I fixed it. It's fine.
Okay, cool. Sorry, you said it right before Chris started, so I just wanted to make sure we got you settled before we got started.
All right, initiative time, boys.
Alright, I'm in Urshul, so I get a +6 to my initiative.
I'm just finishing rolling up their initiatives.
I got the 6 on the roll, so that's 11.
13 for me.
Right, I'm going to need to go through this with you in a moment. I'm just finishing something. Okay, so let's start with. Okay, so Ag, what's Flame's initiative?
11.
Stormbringer.
Okay, so my only question for you, Chris, is the second Maul came through the door, he was shifting into Urshul. Are you counting him coming through the door as the start of combat, or
Yes.
once he's in the house?
As he's coming through the door, basically.
All right, so then I'm going to give you the Hishu initiative, and then it's 2 higher when I switch to Urshul.
Okay.
I think you can just transform because.
And that would be
you're-
13.
Okay.
Yes, I can do it reflexively, but I have to do it on my turn. So
Okay. Thornbreaker.
13.
And Johnny?
8.
Okay. So, top of the initiative chain is the old woman, the Flamecast. So she's been trying to convince Maul not to come through, and then the chainsaw revs and he's come smashing through the door, carving through. This has obviously gone to shit. She, seeing that this has gone to shit, is backing the hell away from the top of the stairs. She's actually her action is that she backs up and she reaches around with none of the frailty or hesitation you'd expect an old lady, and unhooks something on the wall and ceiling, and an attic steps swing down. That's her turn.
I was expecting a silver loaded shotgun.
I was expecting either that or like a silver battle axe or something. Something just absolutely nasty.
Right. Okay, now, it is now 13. This is a very packed initiative. Stormbringer and Thornbreaker, can you tell me your dexterity values, just to sort of orchestrate who's going first here?
Mine is only 4 until I switch to Urshul, and then it will be 6.
Yeah, okay.
My dexterity is also 4. Because his will shift up, why don't we have Stormbringer go before me?
Well, neither of you are going first.
Oh, there's more than us.
The
Okay.
chainsaw is going first.
Nice.
Rat.
Chainsaw.
Maul is going first. So Chainsaw
Well,
Splinter is going first.
Don't you have that ability where if you go all out, your initiative increases? If you have the intent to do it, it's a fighting style.
Hold on, I actually might. Crap.
Part of Relentless Assault.
Hold on, I'm looking. Relentless Assault 2. Hold on. Hold the phone, we're consulting the scripture.
What would we do without Johnny?
Listen, I'm just trying to give us the best advantage we have against a chainsaw wielding rat.
That's true. Your initiative goes up by 3 in the first round of a fight, as long as you're going to as long as you make an all-out attack.
Correct. And then my initiative is actually going to go up 2 when I switch to Urshul.
Okay, are you using the all-out assault then?
Yeah, because I can also pick to go at Maul without losing my defense bonus as long as he's the one I'm attacking.
Okay, in that case, you are going before the rat with the chainsaw.
Fantastic.
You're welcome.
Somebody drop some Detective Dokes for me. Come on, Pete.
Right, so what is Stormbringer doing with his higher initiative then? What's your action?
All right. So Stormbringer is, as discussed, shifting to Urshul.
Yep.
So my initiative will become permanently 2 higher because my initiative does change. Right, it changes as your initiative.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay,
I just adjusted it on the chart.
So that's going to go up 2 higher, and I'm going to do a bank off the wall, all-out bite at Maul's
Okay.
arm. We're going to arm rack. We're going to try and remove that chainsaw from him.
Let's have a look at him. His defense is, for this attack, 10.
Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
He is spending willpower as part of this, as part of increasing his defense. So, yeah, his defense is currently...
Oh, good. He doesn't have it for the attack. I'm so glad.
Well, is he going to need it for the attack?
Right.
That's a good question. All right, so I'm going to... Am I able to activate a gift too?
If it's reflexive, yes. Did you spend essence to reflexively shift, or can you do that normally?
We can do that.
I can do that normally because of my
Okay,
harmony.
and you still have your 1 essence per turn to spend on something, so if it's a reflexive gift, you can fire it up. So what are we having from
1 second, I'm just double checking here. Okay, cool. It is reflexive.
Yep.
I'm activating Primal Strength for that bonus
yeah.
delicious strength
Okay.
of 3. So now we got to do math. Hold on. 3 plus an additional 6 is 9. Hold on, I'm just double checking something here.
No, it's all good.
Lots of fiddly bits.
Well,
Unfortunately.
your strength plus brawl, any specialty you've got a big bonus now from your primal strength. And of course your strength is increased by being inertial. Also you're all attacking for more dice. So it's going to be quite a high pool, even with the -10.
Sadly, it is a high pool still at 7 because I get 17 without his defense.
Nice.
Nice.
That is terrible, though. I'm going to throw
Okay.
willpower on that too, just to make this first one pretty good. All right, hold on one second.
Go all out.
I have to double back
Yes.
and find my 8 again dice thing. Hold on.
It's
No, I just had a shoulder biscuit and he got in the car. He didn't eat it. No. No, that was.
Just because I don't know how to roll 8 again on the Pete. Do you know how to do 8 again on the roll thing?
isn't that a gift you have to activate? So it's either that or primal strength right now.
Is it?
If we're talking about killer instinct.
The passenger side door. Back.
Is Killer Instinct a gift?
Yes, it's one of your full moon gifts. It is 1 essence for the scene. A bit like
Crap. Okay, no, don't need that this one. Okay, cool. Glad I'm willpowering this one.
Okay, let's have that roll.
Does it, hey.
1.
Ooh.
Okay, now what is your total damage here? This is important.
Total damage.
So 1 plus whatever your damage rating is for your bitey jaws.
And then he'll get in the car.
3.
Okay,
Because
you
the
have,
melee
actually,
weapon increases it by 1.
you have done some damage then, which is good. That means you have actually arm racked him.
What?
So you've got the arm rack on. Sorry, my wife's stolen the book. I need it back so I can just double check something.
Wait a minute. So I had to deal 4 damage to deal any damage to him? That's terrible.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. You didn't need to do 4. You needed to do 3, I think. But let me just check what this does to him. He's arm broken. Boss dropped with a hand. Okay, so he has. Right, you've wrecked the arm that he was primarily wielding the chainsaw with. He has not, however, dropped it because he's holding it with both limbs.
I was gonna say, on closer inspection, is it like tied to his? Is it like melted into his body?
No. He's just holding it with both hands. So you
Yeah,
wrecked one arm.
it's a two-handed weapon. It'll affect his roll, I believe, but it won't. He won't
I was
drop it
making a joke.
unless we rack the second arm, which is my plan. So
I was making a joke because this guy would have every opportunity to keep that chainsaw in his hands. If it was his hands, you can't take it out of his hands.
It's funny you mention that because if anyone's watching who has read the Chainsaw Molly write-up, they'll know that I've written up Bashilu who has done more or less exactly that, to the point of literally melding things with their body to avoid dropping. But in this case, he's just carrying it, but he's obviously got 2 arms. So you've racked 1 arm, which is going to really screw with him. It is now his turn. So the Rahu has leapt up at him.
I got 1 extra die on that. I screwed up.
No, give us the
I
extra
only
roll.
gave myself 1 for all attack. I didn't give myself the customary 2.
Yeah, no, give us the second. Give us the 1d10 roll. And while you are rolling that,
No successes. Didn't matter.
didn't make any difference. So you've bounded forward, slammed past Thornbreaker to lunge in, shifting into Wolf as you go with a crunch of flesh and bone. You leap as a Dalu form, land as a huge wolf, and lay into him. Get that, you bite in, rip, you get that mouthful of diseased rat flesh. It's pretty foul. when you get, I mean, you see his expression as he comes in as much as this rat snout, warped, mottled, slamming rat snout has a recognized expression, is berserk fervor. As you come crashing in, that has partly changed to fear. As you reach in, grab, cracking on the bone, worrying at the arm. But he is not. He's clearly afraid, but he's still going. The berserk fervor is strong enough. So using the other arm, he starts to then press the chainsaw from the arm you're chewing on into you with a rev of metal. What is Stormbringer's defense?
Stormbringer's defense against Maul is 5. Against anything else, it is reduced by 2, I think. Raw attack.
To 0.
Right,
There you go. It's reduced to 0 against anybody but Maul.
Right, he's going for an all-out attack, and he's.
Oh, good for me.
Son of a
Okay,
bitch.
he's tagged you. In fact, let's not again. Okay, 1 second. I expect it comes. So
No, don't say that. Don't say that, Chris.
right,
Nine
he
again.
doesn't. Because he's now using his arm. He appears to be ambidextrous in terms of how he's manipulating the chainsaw. He's not what you haven't taken out his primary arm, but he's obviously trying to now do it with one arm very clumsily. However, with the tangle of you on him and the tussling, he's able to press it down into your flank. Without much real strength, but that doesn't matter too much when the chainsaw revs. You take 7 lethal damage. Apply any armor as you see fit, and blood. Basically, the hall. There's this line of sprayed crimson that sluices down one side past the banister in a kind of a red spray on the lovely, slightly off-white cream painting and wallpaper. And he shrieks, "Die, blasphemy!" and tries to really, rev it in, but he's not able to get it in on you as he wants.
Chris, armor 1/1 means one of those is reduced to bashing and one of those is taken away altogether.
Just one of those is reduced. One of them, if it was a bullet, then you'd have that full effect. That's the 1/1 is not general armor and then bulletproof armor. So this is not a bullet; it's a chainsaw being wielded by an angry ratman. So it's just one off. So for you, it will be a total of 6 lethal damage. From a glancing blow.
Oh no!
One day.
Don't worry, boys.
Next up is
Stormbringer's got health for days.
Yes. All right.
Stormbreaker.
So Thornbreaker feels this welling up urge to just destroy the Beshalu, this ancestral hatred of the host. And he's going to charge in. He's in Urshul direwolf form. He's going to charge in for a bite. What is Maul's current defense?
0 because you all attacked.
0 because you all attacked? Alright, so let's see.
You're welcome, boys.
In Urshul, my strength is 5. I've got 4 in Brawl, and especially for bite, that's going to make 10 dice. I'm going to go ahead and throw a point of willpower into that. So that's going to be 13 dice.
Mess him up.
Get him good.
Alright, let's see the roll. 6 successes!
Yeah, boy.
Okay, let me just.
You're welcome for that dice pool, baby.
And I'm going to apply an arm rack on his second arm to get him to drop the chainsaw.
Okay, so yeah, you've disarmed him. You've literally disarmed him with the chainsaw. You grab the arm that he was pressing into your packmate with the chainsaw with, rip it away, leaving some rat claws still attached into sort of the handguard of the thing. Right, let me just do the
I
damage.
know what Johnny's doing on his turn.
Don't you dare, that's my job.
Oh, I'm picking up a chainsaw.
I was going to shift Garu and pick up the chainsaw just because it's funnier.
Okay,
That's what I'm doing. But wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let Chris talk.
Like Chris talk.
foul taste of this rotten flesh as you rip into him, but it's tougher than you might expect. But he's coming apart. You're ripping away great chunks of bloody rat flesh out of him. Next up is Harmonious Flame.
My guys, I don't want to waste time changing. I believe I was in Dalu. I can't remember very well. So I'm just gonna whack him.
What with your just clawed him with your hand?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're bounding in as well. He's defense 0, so it's just to play it straight, strength plus brawl. Remember, if you're on Dalu, remember you have a strength bonus. Sorry, I just
On
having
your
some issues with the mic.
microphone.
Oh, now you are. I'm not sure why. I think you may have suppressed your noise too much.
Great. Well,
Oh,
I
Chris,
tried.
hold on. I'm sorry. 1 second, Chris. I forgot to actually add the damage from bite, so it was actually too high. Or I actually dealt
Okay.
8 damage.
Yep, okay, I've added that on now. Okay, so Harmonious Flame tries to get in there, but getting past these two massive wolves who are ripping and tearing at this rat man is hard to even get in close. So your attempt to basically land a brutal punch does not manage to work out for you. Johnny.
Important question: is the chainsaw running?
It's on, yes. Obviously, it's not currently running because there's no one pressing the trigger, but yeah.
Awesome.
The motor is running, the bar is not engaged.
Yes.
Awesome. So Johnny is. So if I don't have enough strength to wield the weapon, what's my penalty? Just curious.
Oh, I actually can't remember offhand. So I will say I'm going to snap a -2 penalty. But I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to check later.
All right, that's fine. I'm probably just going to be a chainsaw wielding Garu. So I'm going to. Where did the chainsaw drop?
At his feet
On
in a
perimeter
tussle,
for
a big pile of angry wolves and rat,
Okay.
basically taking up the corridor. There's two Urshel trying to literally chewing on the guy. There's a Dalu trying to get in there and punch him, and under all that is the chainsaw.
Okay, so Johnny is going to use his Araka ability to basically teleport behind him.
Okay, yes. So you've slunk round, and know what? For surprising everyone, there you are. Yep, on the other side.
Johnny will then transform to Garu with a point of essence, pick up said chainsaw, and in first tongue say, "Here's Johnny," and then proceed to chainsaw.
Okay.
That's terrible. I love it.
Okay, in the claws of a Garu, the chainsaw is almost this dainty little thing. It's quite hard to get your meaty fingers round. You have just enough presence of mind to pull, to pick it up, pull it in the killing form. Okay, make your attack roll.
So how do you do 9 again in this? Just out of curiosity. Otherwise, I'm just gonna roll it.
No, I know it's. Hold on 1 second. I believe
so any of you-
I'm going to do a test roll,
about
but I
this.
believe it's.
It's been a little while, obviously, since we played the first season. So on the second, we've only had one session so far, and people haven't had to remember how to do the dice tricks yet. Like, how would you do the 8 again and 9 again on our dice roller? We've got a little channel here in Discord. That is how we're doing this. So you just need to know the code to put in to make it do the
Yes,
the correct
so
dice
I
tricks.
believe it's.
I have it. Hold on. I have it here, Pete.
Look, Pete, I just rolled it. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's greater than 9, greater than or equal to 8 is the
Okay, cool.
way you
Thanks.
make a 9 again.
All right. So
No, greater
my
than equal
strength-
to 9. He's 9 again, not 8 again.
No, greater than or equal to 8. The equal to makes it the successes. The greater than 9 before that is what makes it explode on 9 also.
Alrighty, thanks.
Okay.
11d10 because I'm throwing a point of willpower. Actually, I'm gonna all-out attack him.
Okay.
So that's 13d10. 4 successes plus 5 from the chainsaw makes it 9 damage.
Okay,
Nice.
so you hew with the chainsaw. Hew, I think, is the correct word here. As the two Urshel are roaring and tearing, from the back, the chainsaw comes down into his back, revving down with the sheer force of the Gary behind it as well. You essentially pin the guy down into the floor, hitting the trigger. It revs, rips, and tears down through the Rokan hybrid, and as he basically is torn into bloody chunks with this thing, he comes apart. Inside there is a spewing font of rats cascading out, and there are rats everywhere. There are rats on the floor, rats in your hair, rats climbing over you, rats scuttling away. Some are already wiggling into mouse holes and away into nooks and crannies, but now the hall is just full of these sickly wiry, pustulant creatures.
You.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was Johnny. Upstairs, Derek, the carer who is capable of doing stuff with the gauntlet, apparently, basically huddles up in a kind of, knees close, hands, around his head, and whimpers at the sound of the chainsaw ripping flesh downstairs. That's his action. Top of the chain, the old woman, having pulled the stairs down into the attic, bolts the fuck up into the attic. And is about, starting to sort of pull the stairs up after her, essentially. He hasn't quite got to that point yet, but it's about to go up. Stormbringer, your prey has obviously just, after chainsawing you viciously, has now come apart into rats everywhere.
Okay, so Stormbringer's kind of pissed. Not gonna lie. So...
Is it because Johnny made a joke?
No, it's because he was having a conversation. This giant rat thing came in. It would be bad enough if it was just a giant rat thing. But giant rat thing decided to involve a chainsaw. So now he's angry. Look, it had been just a rat thing, whatever, we fight. But no, you brought a chainsaw to a fist fight. Not cool. So, with that being said, Stormbringer is going to bound back up the stairs. And rather than use the staircase, like jump through the staircase, he's just going to go through the ceiling after her.
Through the ceiling? Okay.
Well, I'm going to go up the stairs, and where she's pulled the thing up.
She hasn't pulled it up yet. She's in the process of trying to pull it up, but yeah. So there's
all right, never mind. I'll just jump onto it and
okay.
Into her.
Right. The distance to go. What's your speed currently in Urshel?
17.
Okay, to get that whole distance, you can get up there this turn, but you won't be able to attack. It's basically if you absolutely leg it. So you can get up into the attic with her this turn.
All right, so all right, fine. I'll get up there and I'll block off her escape route.
Okay, so you thunder up, you leap onto the stairs as she's starting to pull them up, and your weight just sort of slams them back down again, and then bound up in the attic. Up in the attic, to a certain extent, it's what you'd expect of a third room like this. So there's, you've got a few planks of areas with wood down, but a lot of the attic is long wooden struts and then insulation stuff between. If you jumped on that, you probably just go straight down into the room below. There is some stuff up here, like the boiler and system, some old system stuff like that. There is also something wrong in the air here. Your werewolf senses are going, your sacred hunt that Johnny invoked is saying that there is no gauntlet here. It is completely gone.
Boy.
And the air is literally swimming strangely as the two worlds just mix here with no barrier. The woman, again, she looks stern, she looks angry, frustrated, but now she also looks afraid because a giant wolf has just got up here in the attic with her. Okay, that's Stormbringer. Right, Maul is no longer appearing in this scene. Well, no, that's not true. It's now his turn. The rats start to cascade in almost like a tidal flow towards a few of them are like biting and nipping at people, but to no major effect because they're not trying to seek out a host. They are just cascading away. You're in through a cracked open cupboard under the stairs, in through a mouse hole under they are just oozing away into the house's structure itself, as best they can. Apart from a last few scurrying laggards, the rest of the swarm of the host is disappearing. There is still some carcass left on the floor. There's tattered remnants of the body. The number of rats that came out of it are frankly impossible. They couldn't have all been packed in there. The sad wreckage of the rat man is already starting to sort of ooze ichors and smell of rot. So, Thornbreaker.
I actually have a mechanics-related question for you, Chris. So my blood is Destroyer. And reading the description here, the Destroyer is an embodiment of devastation, a tidal wave, a hurricane, a force of nature. To destroy anything worth doing is worth doing hard enough to leave rubble in his wake. Your character recovers a point of willpower when he causes significant lasting damage in pursuit of success. So, does that mean damage to structures? Does that specifically mean damage to creatures? What does that mean?
Neither is necessary. It could be either.
Okay.
It's about going to the extent of destroying stuff. Just killing an enemy is not generally going to be necessary. If you're killing prey who needs to die, It's not really
Sure.
being destroyed. That's just being a wolf. It's about that. I think that element of collateral or excessive damage in the process. Trashing stuff because it's kind of there. It is part of your thing.
Sure. So I think that, and you can tell me if this applies or not. It's not going to change the action anyway. But in this moment, even though his packmate has now gone up the stairs to deal with the other sort of prescient issue of Flamegast, right now Thornbreaker sort of has blood red goggles on, and all he can see are the fleeing rats, the Bechelou host trying desperately to cling to their last shards as they leave, and he's just basically rampaging around the first floor, breaking through the stairwell, breaking through walls, just trying to bite and kill every little rat he can get his jaws around.
If you want to go into Death Rage from your last thing, you can get all your willpower back if you would choose. It's not your trigger, but I'm allowing you the option to enter Death Rage if you want. As part of this.
I'm not gonna go that far yet. He's like, it's tugging at him. But yeah, he's just focused.
Ripping and tearing. Please give me a strength plus athletics roll, just so I want to get an idea of how much damage you're doing, essentially.
Absolutely. So my athletics is 3, my strength and ritual is 5. That's 8 dice. That's 4 successes. We're Kool-Aid Manning throughout the house.
You are, yes, you're clearing. I mean, the frame. This is a well-built building. This was not a cheapo. So you are not managing. I mean, and you don't have things like rending claws and the like. So you're not just going straight through walls. It's too sturdy. But you are trashing furniture that might have a rat in it. You're ripping off swathes into wall, ripping through plaster and paint and wallpaper and into the wooden sort of superstructure. And as you're tearing chunks away and revealing some of the innards, you can see rats scurrying away down inside the walls. And I think Thornbreaker, especially as a blood talon, with that kind of, not to say soldier-esque mindset, but that element of combat awareness, even though he's raging at the moment. The rats in the walls are killing one another. Okay, Harmonious Flame.
Picking up the rats that are nipping on me, and then look after where Stoneberger and said, shit, and then rush back after him.
Okay, what's your speed?
10.
Okay, so you've gotten up to the second floor and you're almost able to start on the stairs up, but you can see the flashing shape of Stormbringer up there. He's so much faster than you. I mean, he's inertial form and the guy's pretty fast anyway. So you're a bit left in his wake.
I'm your microphone. Stonebringer, wait.
Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, Axe is having some microphone issues. You might want to fiddle with your settings while the rest of us are as well. Johnny.
So
you are Garrow with a chainsaw.
Right. Johnny's thinking about committing some light arson.
Then you're going to drop out of Garrow.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to attack a stove with a chainsaw.
So you're going to go blow yourself up.
That's why I'm Garou.
Got it. While I'm upstairs in the house.
I have to attack something. Otherwise, Chris, can these stairs support my weight in Garou form?
The stairs? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The attic, not so much.
Just toss her down for me, please.
Dude, if I come down through the stairwell, it's going to be me in Garou form, wrapped in my teeth.
So, Johnny is going to go bounding up the stairs, and as he's going, he's just like revving the chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Garou. Got it.
Right, yes. So as you're doing, I just need to double check the floor. So you're also heading up in the cavalcade. Now everyone going up the stairs in Stormbringer's wake. Now the trendsetter Stormbringer leading the way. Let's have a quick
look. Remember, Keith, I also left the stove on to further later commit light arson.
Oh dear.
Okay, yeah. So you are, you're okay for that this turn because you are actively you're going after the target. However, there is a slight issue with your move this turn, which
what is it?
About to make.
Not get up the stairs.
Yeah, the problem is
Otherwise, I'm just going to stay downstairs and kill rats
Okay,
with
you don't
Thornbreaker.
have to go for the closest target. So when you get to the top of the stairs and you see Derek hunkering down, you are not compelled to start chainsawing him instead of the old lady, which is not a sentence I expected to be saying anytime soon, really. Choosing who, but there you go. So Johnny is also sprinting. There's chainsaw growling.
However, because I have to do this, Johnny just like leans in really close in Garu form, revs the chainsaw, and growls at him.
In all seriousness, you can do that if you wish, but it will check the death rate thing because it's not an attack. If you're trying to pull off intimidation moves and stuff in Garu, which is valid, it will involve the death rate check.
See, that's like me being a monster. And what better way to have a chainsaw?
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, no, it absolutely plays to your monster blood. Like, it is exactly the kind of thing that we do for terrifying people in submission.
No, I'll be good because Thornbreaker was good.
Okay, you're being a good boy, good dog. Okay, as you tear up and you glance momentarily at Derek, clearly considering doing something and then thinking better of it through your rage-filled, you focus your hate and rage and kill up the stairs. Derek sees this 7-foot tall monster built like a brick wall with a chainsaw look at him meaningfully and then going, and he knows in that moment, you were considering doing something, and he just tries to crawl further back in the corner he's in, and they're kind of willing the ground to open up and eat it and swallow him. And then he starts to flinch away from the wall. Because, well, we'll get to that in a second. Up in the stairs.
Actually, wait, he could be a potential host. I should kill him. Moving on.
Upstairs. So the old lady, the Flameghast, has seen, obviously, the Stormbringer bound up, and you see that frustration, that anger, that fear. And she has to make a split-second decision as to what she's going to do.
Oh, no.
And given her nature, it's not so hard. She steps across the gauntlet. Well, what's left of it. She transitions. She pushes into the air and is through. And she's you can see an after image of her because the gauntlet is almost non-existent here. But she's just moved into the shadow. Stormbringer.
All right. I know this is probably going to be a terrible idea, but how do I follow her?
Okay, so because
I'm not done.
Because this is so thin here, you've got a couple of options for stepping across, which is basically the quick way or the slow way. Normally, it's very rare this is actually like an issue, to be honest. Let's have a quick reaching again. So your bullet crossing from 6 to 10. There's no gauntlet strength, in fact. So. Okay, you have two options. One is you make a dice roll to cross over, which is trying to normally cross over. If the gauntlet was a bit thicker here when you did it, it might take you some time. But if you succeed, because there's no gauntlet, it'll simply be, you'll be across. Or you can spend a point of essence to just go across without having to roll, and that's just bang, you're across.
All right, if I attempt the dice roll and fail, can I spend the essence?
No.
Fuck. What's the dice pool?
The dice pool is 10 minus your harmony.
6.
Yes, 10 minus your harmony.
Wait, so I just roll 6d10?
Your harmony's 4?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. My harmony is 6. So I roll 4d10?
Yeah, but you would just roll 4d10.
Crap. My rolls
Could willpower it.
I could. All right. One, 2, 3, 4.
44. Oh.
Something didn't work out.
Okay, 4. I got 4 successes. I didn't put in the whole thing.
Nice. Okay, you flicker across on the other side, and the shadow hits you with this instant enhancement of all your senses, ramping up by another few notches of the dial. From outside, when you saw the building was old enough that it was looked fairly chunky in the shadow, a bit warped and twisted. But one thing that was notable about it was there was odd, almost seething of heat in places around it. A hint of almost not quite fire, but maybe the after impressions of fire. That is now up here in the shadow of the attic, which is very dark, very gloomy, and bigger than it should be. The heat prickles the air uncomfortably. Embers are drifting, but there's something else here as well. It's not just there is fire from somewhere, even though there is no obvious source of fire. There is a thick scent mixed with smoke of something sickly sweet, like rotten mushrooms. And you can see vaguely, obviously you've got good enough senses, you can pick out in the dark, that inside this building there are fungal growths everywhere. They have a particular shape, and they're not. It's not like a complete coating, but you are inside something, the grotto of something unpleasant. The flame ghast is standing a few steps away, facing where you've just come through. Again, same expression, but more determined. But otherwise, she's facing you. She's ready for you. So it was essentially your move to cross over here with her. So you can still act. You can still attack her if you want, or do other things.
I'm just trying to think of. I know what I want to do. I'm not sure what Stormbringer would do, and I want to make sure that I'm separating the two. I personally think to try and continue this conversation we were having, because that's in line with the Sisker Da, and that's obviously very important. But at this point, Stormbringer's been chainsawed.
Yep, you saw blood dripping down your side.
Right, I've been chainsawed. She decided to answer my attempt at a conversation with summoning a giant half rat, half human with a chainsaw. So I'm leaning towards this time for conversation is done, and to give into his baser nature of the destroyer and to just shred every piece of her, and then some.
I'll give you a point of willpower if you attack her for destroyer.
Well, then we know what Chris wants me to do.
There's that candy.
You're right. Blood is destroyer, so that will key your on one willpower point for sure.
What is her defense?
That's a good question. 1 second.
I kind of want to try a mystery and play chainsaw.
Her defense is 6.
Oh, fantastic!
I believe. No, sorry, it was 8. It's 8.
Really?
Yes, you're like when you tried to grapple her at the top of the stairs and you missed.
Right.
She's much faster than she should be.
I'm going to spend the point of essence to activate Killer Instinct.
Okay.
And 3 successes on a bite.
So is it you've got +3 damage to that?
+3 damage, so that's 6.
Okay, so that is 6
Can't
damage.
inflict a rack on her though, right?
You've already in this scene racked with your free rack, so you can't rack.
I couldn't remember if it was a rack, if it was per person I attack or in general.
Per scene. With that. So you rip in, and as you tear, you bite. There's that. Firstly, slightly experience. You bite, and you get again this very human taste in your mouth, and you rip. And it's like pulling a human, and you rip away, and then as you pull away, it's like a chunk. The skin rips away. You've come out and you've got a wriggling rat in your mouth, and there are rats just packed solid under there, and these golden eyes glitter at you. These little eyes glitter inside you, and they start from these rats, and they start pulling the skin back in. She's packed full of rats. Now you've ripped her open, the scent is coming out, but until you did that, the scent was you could smell rats in the house in general, but wasn't really that strong from her. Now it's reeking of it because
they're very well packed in there.
Oh yes, there's a lot of rats in there.
That UPS guy needs a raise.
Thornbreaker, you are rampaging. You've turned, and now you've seen there are rats chewing on rats behind the walls.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Before you do that, sorry, I've got to get each order. So a sound somewhat akin to someone turning on a meat grinder behind the walls as you see the rats that have flooded in from Maul's corpse intermingling with rats that are already there, and the rats that are already there in the structure ripping into the newcomers in a, talk of furry chainsaws. What's going on behind in this house is carnage. The unexpected rats run into the rats that are there, and it is flecks of rat flesh. So in the ceiling above you, where there's one of the light sockets, there's suddenly a ring of blood dripping down from around it. Spots of blood poking up behind the wall, and where you've torn open, you can see this slaughter taking place as the attacking rats are grabbing Maul's rats and just tearing them in and pulling them deeper into the house. And it is this horrible, crunchy noises of teeth grinding flesh just all around you in the house. Would you like to go into Death Rage now?
Chris just wants someone to Death Rage tonight.
I'm just putting the full willpower refresh there on the table,
So, I am at a crossroads a little bit, because what's interesting is my blood is the destroyer, but my bone is the guru. So the bloodlust has been building in him. He's killing all these rats, but as he tears the walls down and he sees these warring factions of Becheloux, he pauses for a moment because he remembers the Flamegast seemed to represent a single faction. His initial response was, she's lying. The host lies, they're not to be trusted, they're an ancient enemy, they're terrible. But now he's pausing because he's seeing some truth that perhaps there's more to this than meets the eye. And it's not that he doesn't want to kill Flamegast, but at this point he wants answers because this is an opportunity to learn more about a hated enemy. So, do you think a voluntary roll to break away from my bloodlust would make sense at this point to try to let the guru win, or do you think it needs to be a conscious choice?
It would be a choice.
It would be a choice.
It would be a choice. Does he give in to the bloodlust?
I mean, you could roll 1d10 and decide it. If it's a success and leave it up to some chance.
You can flip a coin or whatnot. You can choose as you see, but really it's about his conscious choice. Do I give in to what the bloodlust and the craving to destroy, or do I hold back to the bone and what I know is going on here? Do I give in to the moment, or do I take the long-term thought?
Do you join your pack mates in their bloodlust or no?
What is Thornbreaker's choice at this split in the path, really?
For flavor, I'm gonna say Thornbreaker in inner Shul form catches his reflection in maybe a window or something for the moment and sort of contemplates his existence for a moment, because yes, he's this force of nature, and yes, he's a follower of Destroyer Wolf, but the Blood Talons are also tacticians, and they go into battles prepared and they know about their enemies, and that hasn't been what he's been doing thus far. So he's gonna make a conscious choice that whether or not they tear Flamegast apart, they need to talk to her first. So he's going to howl for his pack mates to basically stand down. It's like a howl, not to end a hunt, but sort of pause the kill.
Oh no.
Yep. Okay.
So I'm gonna make an expression.
Triggered.
I'm gonna make an expression and presence, I guess.
Dear.
Oh dear.
Yep. You do that.
And
Johnny is triggered.
Can I spend a point of essence to use my my Gibbous Moon? Where is it? To use my Voice of Glory to add my glory to the roll?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to spend a point of essence. And that's going to give me, excuse me, that's going to give me 8 dice.
Can I hear his howl on the other side of the gauntlet?
No, you can't. Actually, no. I will. I'll see it. There's some other stuff happen first. You might actually. It might be possible because the gauntlet is basically non-existent there. So I'll make a roll in a second based on how many successes he rolls, and I'll see whether you get the echo coming through the gauntlet or not.
Because then I have to make a decision.
Yeah,
I was
then
like,
you'll need to make a decision. Yeah.
I was like, I also have to make a decision as to whether I'm going to give in to let the destroyer continue, or if I'm going to give in to the blood, which is the cub. And I was like, oh, hey, wait a minute, cooler heads are prevailing.
Okay,
Maybe I'm not doing the right thing.
That's Stormbreaker's roll. So what's
5 successes. That's an exceptional.
And
there's a beat in the pot.
To the hunt, so that's 2 beats in the pot. Okay, so you howl in this like that whole shall we say a disciplining howl, the howl of an officer trying to take control of the situation. It echoes with 5 on the other side of the gauntlet. Stormbringer, you hear it. It echoes and warps weirdly, but you hear the echo from the flesh, and you know exactly the meaning. Unfortunately, for probably everyone involved,
I'm on the other side of the gauntlet. I'm okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So, in fact, before anything else, it is Harmonious Flame's turn. So you hear the howl, and you understand it. He is trying to get control of the situation and going, look, the meaning, as he said, you've got clear.
Okay, good, because that's completely. This is exactly what I wanted to do as well. So I am continuing upstairs to see what Stormbringer is doing.
Okay, so you, with your move, you're upstairs. You can feel here that there is almost no gauntlet in the darkness of the attic. There is also no Stormbringer, so he's almost certainly across.
Can I try to cross?
Yes, you can. As with Stormbringer, again, it's going to be, in your case, because we are either spend an essence to ping across reflexively, or you are going to have to spend your action rolling the relevant number of dice.
I'm going to try to roll because I only have 1 essence, and I will spend willpower, so that would be 6 dice for me.
Okay, make the roll.
Oh, crap. There's no wheel enough to stop me.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Okay, you are across. You are okay, and you step across, and that's your turn. You're across into the gauntlet. There's no barrier here. It's literally easy as pushing a little bit, and then the flesh of reality parts around you, and you're in this fungal, sooty place and you see Stormbringer has just attacked and ripped at the Bashilu woman, as she clearly is, but obviously he looks like he's heard the howl, and he's in that moment of decision. Now, Johnny, because you are in Garu, you have gone straight into hard rage.
Oh, that Elodeth wouldn't help with that either.
Oh,
yeah, you could. You could drop me out of it.
Yes, Eldoth can drop out of hard rage.
Hard? Oh, okay. I thought it's only soft rage.
I think it's hard. So
I'm probably going to kill the human up here with my chainsaw.
Yes.
I love it.
You go into, so you are the part where you are starting up the stairs, and then you've just stopped. Ahead of you, a target has just vanished up the thing, and so she's gone. The obvious target is the flesh there that is writhing in fear. Fear is good. Things that are afraid is good, but now to really instill that fear, you need to push the point. The chainsaw may or may not be remembered in all this. Let's have a look. Okay. So,
throw it through the gauntlet before you go.
What your prime is 1. So let me just double check your rage time. How long this is going to last? 10 minutes.
10 minutes. All right, I can do a lot of damage in 10 minutes.
Yes. Now, let me just check the thing. So,
is there a way to knock him out of death rage by beating the snot out of him?
There's several ways you can do it. You can pin him down, basically win enough grapples well enough to just pile on and hold the fucker down for 10 minutes. The Eldoth can ping him out. There's one problem, which is probably about to become very evident very shortly, but that's not you two's problem anyway, because you're on the other side of the gauntlet.
Death rage is addictive.
So, all I'm going to say now is, Stormbreaker, you've heard your howl. You've launched your howl. You think it's gone through, but then you hear this absolutely guttural snarl from Johnny up. You can't see him up the stairs. You hear this noise that is because Johnny is. Let's be honest here. Johnny is a sneaky fuck, right? And when he does, and you've seen him in battle, when he takes people down, he does so with very precise, extreme, but quite precise violence. And even when he's angry, he's not exactly the rah, 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 I'm very angry kind of guy. But the noise that comes out of that mouth is like, there is no Johnny here. Here's Johnny? No, Johnny is not here anymore. So, for you, And as he does so, it stirs something in you, that primal growl, that anger, that raw fury. So I am going to need you to roll a resolve plus composure roll. You can smell
It's
him.
a good thing we're on the other side of the gauntlet.
Can I spend a point of willpower?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Please do.
Please do. All right, wish me luck, boys.
It's not 5 dice, is it?
Oh, I rolled that wrong.
Hold on.
That's
No.
in there.
Wait, we can count this up.
95
1, 2,
successes.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes.
Yeah, but it did something weird. It ate again to everything by the look of it.
Yeah.
How?
Because I didn't
Went
have the
wrong.
I didn't
Did
have
it?
the equal sign. That's why the greater than
1,
makes it
2,
really
yeah.
3,
so
4,
I'm gonna have to roll
5,
it again.
6.
And 9
Hold on, no.
again,
We just counted at the 7,
Yeah, we could just count the 7, which is
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
4 successes. Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so you hold it down, but you know your packmate has just gone into death rage. You don't know why. You hear the roar. You hear the kind of clumsy howl of the chainsaw, as if he's not really intentionally. He's got a weapon in his hands, and because he's crunching it, it's crunching the trigger, and flailing. You hear the scream of the guy upstairs, the carer, and then the sounds of the chainsaw being whirled around. You don't know if it's hit the guy. It's definitely biting through stuff, at least some of which is wall, stairs, anything that's in the way of the swing. But the state of the poor guy is currently unknown. So, back up to the top. So, on the other side of the gauntlet, Stormbringer, you've leapt forward, you've attacked, ripped into the woman, torn away, and you've seen revealed beneath her skin the Flameghast's thick, matted coats of rats. And she steps back, and she sort of cracks with an odd crack of bone, flexes her arms, twists her arms, and those claw-like fingers, not literally shifting, but almost like in a kind of. There's something about the stance, and she twists the air. What I'm going to need from you is a stamina plus primal urge, but the primal urge is added twice because this is a disease-related effect, and it's something you are resistant to as well. So it's stamina plus twice your primal urge, and roll that.
Five successes.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
And all 10s, no less.
Ag, you're up there as well, so actually I need you to make the same roll. You got 4 successes.
Does she get to add? Hold on. Does she get to add the thing we get for our pack? Because she's there for him in theory.
Yes, but she's not part of the pack, so she doesn't get pack dynamics.
Ah!
You haven't joined me to the pack yet, so sadly no. We've only just met.
Okay, make a roll.
So 4 dice.
We tried to help.
1 success.
Well, okay, here's the thing. She rolled 5 successes as well. So,
Oh, God.
Stormbringer is fine. Ag, you have just been hit with the grievous sick tilt.
No. And we need her to bring Johnny out of death rage.
Don't worry. I'll bring Johnny out of death
Hold on.
rage.
This has gone to
Super good.
shit.
He may not survive it, but I'll take him out of it.
I think I'll have to do it. You've got your hands full with Rat Lady.
Well,
Okay. So, what happens? She cracks the air, and the air sort of thrashes strangely. With the scent of the fungus and the rot, that smell intensifies. I don't actually have. It's going to have to be poison because I don't have the sick tilt to hand right here. I've got the wrong book to hand. It doesn't have the sick tilt. So you're going to get the poison tilt instead. But it's the same general kind of thing.
drink your milk, kiddo. Drink your milk.
Okay.
Oh, that's zero milk left.
Poison tilt. I think the sick one actually gives you some extra penalties, but currently you're going to be taking 1 point of lethal damage per turn during combat. Okay, that's only during combat and action stuff, not outside of it. Okay, so she twists the air, and this smell, the air thickens with something, spores or something in the air, and you breathe it in, and you feel like your skin is burning everywhere it touches, and you breathe in and your lungs are burning, and sort of something dancing before your eyes. There is no actual flame on you, but it is the sensation of fire. Stormbringer gets a mouthful of this crap, it's like chili really, spits this horror stuff out and just powers through it essentially.
I've eaten worse chili.
Bloody-minded, care about the things digging into his flesh.
Stormbringer gives no shits.
Stormbringer has eaten worse chili.
Speaking of which, it's Stormbringer's turn.
All right. I'm trying to decide would Stormbringer let into the cub, and the fact that the guru said, enough, we need to get control of the situation, or is he too far gone at this point?
Ironically, either of them will get you a point of willpower.
Yeah, well, if I go Destroyer, I'm thinking about going Garu Shift and saying game over.
Yep.
And I have no idea that Johnny is death raging on the other side.
Nope.
All right.
Gauntlet reverberating. I thought that the spirits, when a werewolf death rages, it goes like an echo.
You can sense that. Yes, you can't.
Oh, I see.
We're in the spirit. So since I can change reflexively, it has to be on my turn, though?
Generally, yes, I believe so.
Okay, no, because I was going to drop into Dalu to try and continue the conversation, and then if she continues on the attack, shift back.
Gotta commit.
Fuck. I can do minimal discussion in Urshul, right?
Yes, but it's very simplified. Nuance is hard when you're a wolf.
That's fine. Can I say something to the lines of enough? Continue talk, or keep talk.
Yes, you can. You can do that, and that will be, I think, a manipulation or presence plus persuasion with a -3 penalty, given everything that's happened.
Wow, that you know what? Knowing that's what that's going to be, we're just going to attack. We're giving it a destroy. It's a chance roll at that point. No, thank you.
Yeah.
It is pure chance, and I'm going to give in to the destroyer. So you know what? I'm going to save Garu though. I don't want to throw that out just yet. So the shift in the Garu will clear out all the lethal. Will it also clear out ag?
No, it does not heal aggravated.
Okay. Let me see how am I doing on that. But I can spend a point of willpower and heal, or a point of essence and heal off a lethal.
Yes, you can turn your your per turn bashing into lethal healing instead. Yeah, with that point of essence.
For one turn.
Yes, and that will clear a point of lethal.
Okay, I'm going to do that just to get down a little bit more. Because I activated Killer Instinct last time.
Yep.
I'll get back my willpower.
Yep, you have Primal Strength and Killer Instinct functional. So you are gilled up to the nines with horrible
she
kill power.
has 9.
She has 8 defense.
8 defense.
10 minutes has officially gone up.
Wow, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Is it?
That's depressing.
Wow.
That is very depressing.
A big dice pool gave no successes. So you go flailing in, and she sort of sidesteps away in a slightly stiff way, as if she's marionetted, but she's out the way, clear. Thornbreaker.
All right. So having heard Johnny's guttural loss of control growl,
Give in. Give in. Give in. Give in. Give in.
Cannot go badly.
Look, I just want to sum up Thornbreaker for him here. He had the absolutely miserable failure early on, where he kind of flubbed himself in front of his pack, and then everything leading up to this, and the flubs when we absolutely couldn't have them that he's had. I think it's time to give into the rage. I'm just saying.
It's kind of the opposite. He kind of feels like his pack needs him. He's doing the math right now. The math is Harmonious Flame has disappeared. You've disappeared, which leaves who downstairs? Me, not Harmonious Flame, a Flame Guest. Me, Harmonious Flame, and a human. He's gonna
Harmonious
get
Flame went upstairs.
She's not in the shadow. She's up at the top of the stairs, which means that he's gonna chew through a human.
She is across.
No, she's
crossed.
across.
Okay, never mind. And that changes.
She's across with me.
That changes things.
It's just you and Johnny. Let it fly, man. Do it.
No, because we only have one Eladov.
As a
Do
note,
it.
the crunching noises in the background are the war in the walls is subsiding, and now is just the steady occasional squeak of a dying rat, and mostly the grisly noises of flesh crunching and bone cracking and spots of blood welling up by fixtures and dribbling down the wall.
Has the behavior of the rats, after they're killing, are they doing anything, or are they sort of retreating?
They're dragging the other rats, the dead rats, deeper in, and you can hear them ripping and eating them.
Or you can come through the gauntlet and let Johnny do his thing.
I think I may have to do that.
Johnny
My
did want to destroy the house.
primary concern for that moment, the reason I was hedging, is because I was thinking Johnny's going to go through this poor, unsuspecting human, and is then going to turn on his next target, which would be Harmonious Flame. But now that she's across the gauntlet and out of the picture, the answer is I think Johnny's going to spend his rage just tearing ass through the wall and down the town with a chainsaw flying behind him. So I don't think, knowing Johnny and knowing his instincts, even in his death rage, I don't think he's going to be like, let me go find another human target. I think once he tears through, he's just going to go off into the woods and cut through trees. So I feel kind of safe leaving him to his own devices to just tear the house down. And so I'm actually going to head up and try to cross over the gauntlet.
Oh, good. Targets are
Somebody
going
put on the talking heads. We need a little burning down the house, right?
Yeah. So, quick question: with my speed, I have 17 speed in Urshul. Is that enough for me to make it all the way up to where I need to cross over the gauntlet? I think Chris and Ag froze. I don't see that.
They did.
She said that their internet went out.
Oh dear. Okay.
Uh-oh.
We can take.
Well, I mean,
stock.
now's a great time to go to the viewership.
Yeah, right. We could take take stock in the moment.
So first,
I can't believe I whiffed that. I cannot believe I whiffed that attack. 9 dice.
That was an almighty whiff.
Oh man, first death rage.
That was the whiffiest of whiffs. First death rage of the night does not go to Stormbringer, which everybody thought it would. Or first death rage period, I should say.
Correct.
Does not go to Stormbringer.
Honestly, mine was probably the most likely to come up just because of the trigger I picked.
No, I thought we would get in a situation where I'd taken enough damage that it was going to trigger.
No,
because I tend to throw myself in against the biggest bads.
Just because the cameras are gonna get all messed up. Let me just see if we can switch to something else temporarily. We're gonna go to a quick intermission. All right, we are back. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone.
Yeah, our router just fell over briefly. So we are back now. Where it stopped for us is I'm coming through your router speaker now.
Something is.
Just mute yourself.
So
I think our internet's still struggling a bit because we've only just it's trying to load everything up again.
Sure.
So where we left off, you decided that Johnny was probably just going to trash the house, so you had your priorities were elsewhere,
Yes.
and I didn't hear what you decided to do.
So my question for you is, I have 17 speed in Ursula form. Is that enough for me to make it to where I need to cross over, or should I activate Predator's Unmatched Pursuit?
You'll need Predator's Unmatched Pursuit to get there.
Then that I shall do. So I will spend a point of essence, and I'm activating Predator's Unmatched Pursuit, and I will lightning zip up the stairs to where, skipping several steps at a time to get to the attic. And then what?
Okay, so you zip up there, leaving the rat carnage behind. You come as you come onto the first floor. You see the furious bulk of Johnny ripping. The chainsaw is no longer in his hands. It's stuck into one of the walls. He's now just ripping and tearing and streaking everything. You cannot see Derek, the man. He's just not there.
Okay.
There is some blood, but he is not present. And obviously, as you sprint up, Johnny turns and sees you, but you're zipping past really fast and you're up. So the crossing over roll, you can either you spent a point of essence to act Predator's Unmatched Pursuit, presumably. So it's a 10 minus your harmony dice roll.
Okay. I have 6 harmony, so I'm going to be rolling 4 dice. I will spend a point of willpower.
The trash can are out on the curb.
That makes it 7. Three successes.
Okay, so you race up, dive through the warped flesh of reality, and rip through, and you are on the other side. So you can see here in this smoky, fungal-filled, dark attic, larger than it should be. You can see the woman has been torn. You can see the Beshulu, the rats writhing beneath her skin. The air still fuming with something foul around her. Stormbringer lunging and tearing at her, and Harmonious Flame just there at the moment, but not looking at their best. And in fact, that's in your turns, getting that distance. So, Harmonious Flame, you're sorry, I checked the sick tilt. You are on a -1 penalty to all your actions. It will increase every 2 turns, and you are taking 1 point of bashing damage per turn. But since you regenerate 1 point of bashing damage naturally, that's not going to be a massive issue. You are feeling sick. Your skin and innards feel like they're on fire.
How long does it last?
That will depend.
Oh dear.
However long combat lasts.
A big mouthful of these, or lungful of these spores. So, like, fuck, Stormbringer, stop! You have to stop fighting. We have all been tricked. And I don't know. Do I do some sort of manipulation roll or something?
Are you trying to? Well, are you trying to convince the flame ghast to stop fighting as part of that? Then yes,
Yes.
It'll be manipulation or presence plus persuasion -3. Because you had a lot of things you wanted to spend dice on, like empathy.
Ah, yes. Okay. 2 + 1. I'll throw in another point of willpower, so that's 6.
-3. So
Oh, -3, so that's 3.
Hey, it's better than I had.
2 successes.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, so you have you're trying to diffuse the situation. On the other side, Johnny is setting about his grisly work. So the question, I'm going to go make a dice roll for the possible outcomes here of where this might go. Okay, here's the good news. Death Raging Johnny does not come rampaging through the gauntlet. Doesn't come and cross over through the verge, Johnny. So he is not coming. The bad news is you don't know what's happening because you're all up in the attic focused on this woman. So who knows what antics that wacky scamp is getting up to as a 7.5 foot tall killing machine? Will we ever know?
I'm expecting the rest of the pack to get a call from animal control. So we found your Garu.
We're getting a call from Jenny. So Johnny just showed up naked on the front lawn with a chainsaw. I'm not really sure what's going on.
Wearing only a chainsaw. Okay, so the Flameghast, hearing the coughing splutter of harness flame, and with Stormbringer having really failed to even get a grip on her this turn, she's backing away. She's frowning, like, again, this situation has gone wildly out of control. She's not happy with where it is. She doesn't do anything to attack you, but she obviously has no fucking intention of hanging around in her attic with increasing numbers of werewolves. So she basically steps back and hops through the hole in the floor where the access would be, which is almost gullet-like from here. And she just hops down to drop down onto the lower floor. She's running. She's zipping. She's running into the lower parts of the building. There is an odd slight shift in the building. It groans as if the spirit of the building is injured in some way. Not clearly. I don't know if it's related to what she's doing or not. But she is taking advantage of the lull to go, screw this. I'm not going to fight, but I'm not hanging around. Stormbringer.
All right, so a harmonious flame tried to convince us not to continue fighting. My quarry just ran again. How fast? I'm guessing she's stupid fast in human form.
She's faster than she should be, but she's more human peak speed rather than superhuman speed.
So if I shifted to Dalu with 11 speed, I could keep up with her?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take the first 3 steps in Urshul and jump down the little hole. And as I'm coming through the hole, I'm going to shift back into Dalu. And I'm going to spend another point of essence to heal off another lethal.
Okay, so you drop down into the first floor, the first story, and here on what is roughly matching the landing. The imprint of the house here is not much like the real house is. There isn't, much like the bathroom was very, on show, but it's so spiritually untouched there, it's just not there. Instead, the innards of the house, as well as fleshy spirit matter, the peeling sheets here of the wallpaper are pages scrawled with something you're not sure what. Everything is peeling slang. Instead of skin or wallpaper, it is paper, parchment. Cancerous tumours of books spill up and erupt pages from pages. Among them are spars and spurs of smouldering spirit flesh, the source of the smoke. And everywhere as well, you're seeing these almost spiritual fungal growths. So she dashes down, she runs in. So to keep pace with her, what I'd like you to make is a strength plus Dex plus athletics roll.
Dex plus athletics?
Yes, because you're trying to maneuver your way through a difficult landscape.
You're parkouring right now.
More or less, yeah, through the literal guts of the building.
See, I was gonna go more juggernaut through it, but that's okay. Yeah, no successes.
Okay, as you come in, a bit of the wall twists and splits in a tumour. Instead of ichor that comes out, it's a spray of tangled pages with wet ink and splashing everywhere. And you're trying to wade through it, go, what the hell? And she's literally booking it. She's just running like hell away into the pots, being rapidly outpacing you, not because she's faster, but because she's moving with practiced grace through the innards of this place, which seems to shift around her as if it's comfortable with her presence.
I'm going to yell to her.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk like we originally intended to.
Okay. Thornbreaker.
Okay, so Thornbreaker is going to turn quickly to Harmonious Flame and say, he's in Urshul still. He says, Johnny, Kuruth, help. And then he turns and he leaps down in Urshul form to the lower level. He still has Predator's Unmatched Pursuit activated. And so I'm going to go run through. I'll make that roll. He's going to try to get in front of Flameghast. So we'll see if that works. And if he does, he'll tell her to stop.
Best of luck,
running. Sir. Thank you. All right, so in Urshul, my dexterity is 4. My athletics is 3, so that's 7. I'm not going to spend a point of willpower for this. All right, so let's see. That's 2 successes.
Okay, you sprint through the innards of the building. You are getting. You sort of come down to where the flame ghast is, sort of near the bottom of the stairs, heading out the back, roughly, of the place. Thank you, Molly. The problem you have is she's got several ways out of here. Not only is there the rough innards of the building leading out the front and the back, but there's also apertures. Oh god, no, that's why she's come to steal my dice. No, tiny baby. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to eject this tiny baby with the dice. Give me to disarm her in a second. Oh no, she's put them down. Okay. So there's like apertures. There's a hole in the wall in one place, like a twisted orifice of some sort through the flesh of the building of flame and smouldering wood. So you've got her down here, but she's got a lot of ways to run. You can run faster than her. That may not be a problem, but you can't predict exactly which way she's going to go or what she's going to do. She can also try and go down further in the building.
So he's going to say to her, and it's not a request, it's a command. He's going to say... I don't
think I'm going to give you that as well, because I've already talked to Harmonious Flame.
Sure.
So, Harmonious Flame, you take a point of bashing damage, which you're healing. You are feeling quite sick from the burning things throughout you. You've had the words from Thornbreaker. Apparently, the other one's gone to Death Rage on the other side.
Okay, well, I'm feeling the fungus weakening me, so I better act quickly. So I try to cross the gauntlet. Where's the dice? Oh, here. More willpower, because why not? I still have some. It's gonna be 5 dice because I'm in minus 1. I succeeded, so I cross the gauntlet and follow the destruction, really.
Okay, so you cross over and sort of leap down the steps. Johnny is basically ripping. He's actually gone down the stairs and is tearing into the walls and the stairs and floor. He's got some... You think he's got like some dead rats scattered around him, but only a very small number. Most of them have gone. He's literally tearing into the building to try and get the living things he can smell and scent. So you're at the top stairs. You see him. Are you going to use your Eladoth ability? Okay. So you use Darkness into Light. You reach out with your will. You feel the sense of rage inside him. Thank you, Molly. I don't know how much this baby's noise is coming through. They're going bear, 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 and playing with the dice. I think I need to dislodge her in a moment. And you feel the rage and you snuff it out like the moon shifting to darkness. You quench it. That stuns Johnny for 1 round. That may not be hugely relevant, but Johnny is going next. So Johnny drops out of rage into... I'm going to guess Hishu form, probably. And is stunned. Literally just hits the floor, like knees, hands, breathing heavily. Johnny, you've come back to your senses. There is blood in your mouth that you do not recognize. Your body feels like it's between the ringer, but the burning rage is just being squashed like a bucket of water over a fire. Instead of hot, you feel cold, too cold, and your ears are ringing, and the sense of something enormous shifting against you, a massive presence, as if the moon itself has just gone no, and it's pressing down upon you. So you're stunned in the ground.
So he's just almost hyperventilating for his turn.
Yeah.
I was almost expecting a Keanu Reeves level. Whoa.
Okay. So the flame ghast runs the fuck out the. So which that's the point. Which route out were you trying to block, Thornbreaker?
Whichever one she was actively running towards, he positions himself between her and that.
She would have gone straight out the back, so you've blocked the boat the rear out the back. No, Molly, stop pressing buttons. And she therefore books it out the front. She runs. The doorway of the house literally flips open in front of her. It just peels itself open with a ripping noise, and the slams shut behind her without her touching it. And she sprints out sort of towards the road into the dark tangle of the spirit garden and out towards the road. Stormbringer, you are struggling among house stuff. I'm gonna have this baby go away.
Stormbringer is quickly moving back into pissed. So I'm gonna shift back into her shul. And
Jump
rather
out a
than
window.
try to dexterously navigate the house, I'm going through it.
Okay, so you're trying to start ripping into the house itself to go down.
I'm just plowing through the house. Yes.
Okay, give me a strength plus athletics roll for this.
Yeah, that's a little more like it.
It's much slower, but it will, it'll get you there.
Yeah. No, for that I get a few more dice on that roll. Just a few. 3 successes.
Okay, you start ripping and tearing at the house stuff, and you basically carve yourself a path down, so you're now sort of downstairs. You've heard the slam of the door, and Stormbringer's are trying to chase, but you are Thornbreaker's trying to chase, but you've maneuvered yourself out of the tangle upstairs.
Okay.
Thornbreaker.
Do I have a clear path to the front door that she just ran through?
Yes, you do, down here.
All right, so then
He should, because I just ripped one.
I'm gonna literally no, you're upstairs, Keith. I'm literally gonna charge straight line at the door. I'm gonna try to make a strength check to burst through the door.
Strength plus brawl, -4 for its defense.
Okay.
Dirty door.
Seriously.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a sturdy spirit.
9 -4 is 5.
Sturdy spirit door.
I'll spend a point of willpower.
Didn't have as much as you wanted there, Dad.
What?
Didn't
Yeah,
have as much as you
I'm making it. It was reduced to 5. I'm putting it up to 8 because I don't know how much damage I need to do to the door to get out. 6 successes. Boom, 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 boom.
Nice. Okay. You smash through, and so you smash into the door. Sorry. What is your total damage, including that?
Let's see.
That'd probably be claws, if anything.
Sure. Yeah. So let's say 7 damage.
Okay. Let me just roll.
Bites at the door now.
Right. You slam into the door, rip deep. The door, the spirit of the door, snarls as you impact, then shrieks as you tear into it. It's a separate spirit from the rest of the house. It snarls like no in first tongue. Tries to resist, but you manage to basically rip through. You essentially knock it senseless with a tear, the spray of spirit ichor, as the thing tries to harden itself as you're through. You are out into the garden, hot on the Flameghast's heels.
Can I shout at her?
You can.
All right, I'm gonna try to intimidate her. You
can run, but you'll only die tired.
I'm gonna say, basically, stop or I'll make you stop. So it'll definitely be intimidation. Which attribute should I apply here? Strength or presence or? Oh no, they've frozen again. No.
Just fell over again.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone. We're going to take another quick intermission while we wait for Chris and Ag to return. We will be back shortly. we're back in business. Sorry again for the technical difficulties, everyone.
Our router is playing up today, apparently. I'm not entirely sure why, but we are back in. I'm very sorry about that. So, what was actually going on?
Yes, attempting to intimidate her. I had asked you if I should use presence.
And we killed her.
I had asked
sorry,
her.
I didn't hear what you said.
I asked if I should use presence or strength if it's more of a physical intimidation.
Presence.
Presence. Okay. So
sorry, I was making a joke, Chris, that we had Pete step in for you for this brief period of time, and that the pack had caught up to her, got the information they needed, and then proceeded to kill her.
Well, there you go.
2 and 3. All right. So, does Voice of Glory affect intimidation rolls?
I don't know actually.
No, I think it's just expression and persuasion, maybe. Yeah, I think it's expression and persuasion. All right, so we're just gonna stick with my just base presence and intimidation, which is gonna be 5 dice. So let's give that a roll. Oh, I did it again.
5 billion successes.
Yeah, for real.
Jesus Christ.
2 successes.
Okay. Right, we're going to drop out of combat rounds now, I think.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
So.
I was about to use Howling Winds, just in case.
So what's happened is this. On one side of the gauntlet, we have Harmonious Flame. Cool. Harmonious Flame, who is staying downstairs at Johnny. Johnny, you're coming out of the Death Rage. There is that sour tang of human blood on your tongue. There are some dead rats around you, but not very many. Certainly not enough to have killed Bashilu here. You have a high enough harmony that you haven't done anything like burst your clothes apart, but you are. This does not feel. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel well. Something feels right. You feel oddly serene, oddly satisfied, but your body feels like it's been put through the ringer. Harmonious Flame. You are so Harmonious Flame. You are feeling sick. You are not suffering the round by round penalties now because not in rounds. But you are not feeling good from this. You feel like your skin is burning and itching, and you're feverish, which for a werewolf is not exactly normal. On the other side, Stormbringer, who's just caught up with Thornbreaker, so the two of you are there in whatever forms you choose, out in the by the entrance to the Tangled Garden, which is almost like a hand, fingers closing almost round this building completely in the shadow, curling up protectively. The woman, the Flamegast, has at the entrance to this place, where the gate is fingers of metal that have peeled aside for her. She is very slowly, but in a kind of I am facing an angry tiger, I'm going to slowly back away kind of way. Backing away. But she is doing that rather than running, and she is paying attention to what you're saying while she continues to back towards the road. So, Stormbringer and Thornbreaker. She's listening. What are you going to say?
Okay.
I'm going to let Thornbreaker talk because he obviously is the more what's the word for it, loquacious of the two of us. So I'm actually going to move around, not directly behind her, but on the other side of kind of where she is.
Yeah, she's going to the entrance.
I'm not directly cutting off her route of escape, but I'm putting myself in the area where she does try to run.
Well, she's currently coming. She's at the gate, which is peeled open for her. So she's going out. She's backing slowly out onto the street. So once she's out on there, sorry.
Can I jump the gate and just stop her?
You can just walk through the gate, but she's at it already. So you'll need to, and beware that might make her run if you obviously sprint forwards.
Right.
Might not. She might continue backing away, but it is the risk that she will bolt if you charge. If you know what I mean.
All right. Well, I'm gonna drop out into Dalu, just to be a little less.
And your general aim is to try and quietly circle around her without really upsetting her. Yeah, she's going on the street, but you're going to try and stop her being able to just sprint off down the street.
Thornbreaker shifts to Dalu form, and he actually sits down cross-legged in the grass in the front yard. Mind you, I still have Voice of Glory active because it's the same scene, I'm assuming? Yes. Okay. So he's going to use persuasion with to try to get her to stay and talk. Would that be presence, manipulation?
Manipulation.
Alright, that's 1, 2, plus another 3 is 5. I will spend a point of willpower to go from 5 to 8. Four successes. He sits cross-legged and he says, it seems that there is more at play than I originally realized. You were honest when you made it seem like there were other actors among the Becheloux. I am now ready to listen if you wish to explain more to me, because it seems like our problem is your problem as well.
Okay. She is paying heed, she's backing out, and as she backs through the gate, once there's enough gap to do so without being threatening, Stormbringer is slipping around. So she's on the street, but so is Stormbringer. And you're just inside, but she's maintaining a line of sight to you so she can hear you. She's not going great distance. She's stopping on the road itself at the end of the thing. Stormbringer circling. She's aware Stormbringer's there. She's not ignoring him. You invaded my nest. You have attempted to kill my burrow cultist. And you are wolves. Hot-headed destroyers. Sorry, we have a wailing baby.
That's fun. I'm gonna look at her and go, well, nobody's perfect.
I am. I have no guarantee that your words are not merely a delaying tactic, or that you will take what knowledge you wish from me and then attempt to kill me anyway.
You have no guarantee, but if I wanted you to be dead, you'd already be dead.
I told you when this all started that we could talk. It's not our fault your chainsaw-wielding friend decided to interrupt our discussion.
Nor is it... It is your fault that you invaded my nest. So I do hold that against you. You are at least trying to talk. Seems only the two of you. She puts her fingers like to her lip like that, scoops off. You see they're bloodied, and she needles one leg down on the road, puts her fingers to the road, but she's not otherwise doing anything. Very well. We have some time to talk. So, what do you wish to know? What will make you hounds go back on your leashes?
I'm gonna look at Thornbreaker and kind of try to signal to him that we're on limited time because I think she just called for backup. And let him kind of take the conversation.
The enmity between our people is very old, and in the absence of discourse over so many eons, our understanding of one another has been reduced to a caricature. It was my understanding that your kind only sought to tear across the gauntlet and spread your disease into the fallen world. However, your talk of retirement has led me to question if it is as simple as that. What did you mean when you said you sought retirement? And why should I believe you are not our enemy?
I have spent years here, taking shells only when I needed to remain hidden. I am a scholar. I seek knowledge. I do not seek to feud with others of my kind, to devour their shards. I do not seek to despoil the territories of others. I am here under treaty, under agreement with the owner of this, the one who considers themselves the owner of this place. That you have intruded and attempted to slay me on the pursuit or pursuing another is your doing, not mine. I have held to everything I agreed.
What roll would he have to make to see if she's telling the truth?
Unfortunately, your Elados on the other side is really good at this. It would be either wits or manipulation plus empathy.
All right,
Can I make the same roll?
Sorry, no, wits or composure.
Can I make the same roll?
Yes, you can. You make the same roll as well.
Composure.
I got a success.
Unsure. She's
Unsure.
For a Bashilu. I mean, I don't think Thornbreaker's necessarily encountered many Bashilu before.
No, he hasn't.
But they're usually super, like Maul, they're usually super twitchy, manic, and usually very scared when a werewolf turns up. She is scared, but she is, for a Bashilu, she is very controlled.
Okay.
Chris, I got 2 successes. I don't know if that.
Okay, that is again, same thing. You're not sure if she's telling the truth or not, but she is maintaining, because she's maintaining her poise very well for a Bashilu.
Right.
At the same time, there's no tells that she's lying. There's no obvious tells that she's lying that you can see.
Right.
So you're not sure whether she's telling the truth.
Thornbreaker considers her words for a moment and then says, I don't know to whom you have made this agreement. However, this place is within our territory, so a new agreement must be struck. We are willing to negotiate with you. He says,
There is no negotiation to be made. You are not the lords of this place.
Then who are the lords of this place?
The architect rules this town. Whatever claim you think you have, it is merely words. Perhaps a little spirit magic wound around your finger, but it is nothing compared to the reality of this place.
Architect.
I feel like we just walked into the Matrix.
Yeah, right. All right, good to know. We're learning. We're burning.
Sorry.
So he considers her words for a moment and then says, nevertheless, it seems that you have enemies among your own kind. They are our enemies as well, and as the adage goes, the enemy of my enemy, he lets it trail off.
I mutter under my breath, is not my friend, but a temporary ally.
If you are suggesting something, be explicit about it.
You may not have left your domicile often, but there are Beshalu who are being brazen in their taking of hosts and creating problems in our territory which will not stand. We will destroy these Beshalu. If they pose a problem to you, which they seem to, it is in your best interest to help us dispatch them quickly. If you have information, you should share it. In exchange, we will let you leave peacefully.
I will trust my protection to the agreements I have made with the architect, who is the lord here. You are interlopers. I do not see that there is anything you can claim to assure me of. There is a noise. So it is in the dark shadow of the street with these crooked buildings and twisted trees. Some of the trees are craning slightly to listen to you, faces on the bark, shivering under the bark. The lamp lights themselves are sputtering but it is otherwise quiet. There's the background hum of the city, the shadows of the town, even the shadows, an odd noise from the hubbub of noise. But then there's something like that sounds an awful lot like.
When is Jack's mayor
We lost you for a second there, Chris.
There is a noise like a metal clamoring of something rattling, rat-a-tatting against something, and a deep growl approaching.
So Thornbreaker sort of looks in the general direction of the sound for a moment, and then looks back at her and says, "Very well. You've made your choice, it seems. I accept that. If you need to reach us, here's how." He reaches and he pulls out, I'm sure he carries a card that just has his number jotted down for such a situation. And he flicks it at her, and he said, "You may not think you're in trouble, and perhaps the architect can protect you, except there were Becheloux in your walls already, looking to devour you. And now they know for sure where you are, because you reek." He shrugs. He says, "We'll deal with them one way or the other, but they may deal with you first." And he turns and he starts to walk back into the house.
Okay. You hear the clattering in the darkness grows, and out you see in the lamplight approaching the streetlights, something crab-like, something between a car and a crab, is along the road. Headlight eyes flash. Headlight eyes flashing, claws rattling on the tarmac with sort of ichorous splashes of the road. An engine work clear against its guts as this vehicle spirit thunders up and comes to a pause on the road, twisting to look expectantly, mouthparts of the grille clattering to look expectant at the Flameghast. The Flameghast looks at you, reaches up to hook a hand on like a handle of a part of the frame of the vehicle spirit, steps up onto the foot, onto the thing, so she's sort of hanging off the side. She's clearly thinking something, but she doesn't say whatever she's thinking, as the vehicle spirit then starts to move, rattling off again, building up speed away into the darkness.
Why do sound like that stuff in the nose?
Behind you,
Why do they sound like
in the okay, some Stormbringers thing come through here. Behind you in the shadow, the building starts to smoulder and smoke heavily. In the flesh, Johnny and Harmonious Flame. Harmonious Flame, you are not feeling good, as we've established. Johnny, you are perhaps feeling better than you might otherwise be, but you are not in your best condition, but you are now coming round and out of it.
The Harmonious Flame groans. I haven't felt like that since the change. You okay down there? Because I'm upstairs, right?
Yes, you were at the top of the stairs, yeah.
I say same. Where the Johnny looks around. All right, we have to take care of this building, otherwise there's just gonna be Becheloux up in the wazoo. And he's gonna head to the kitchen where he started the stove.
Yeah. As you go there, you can no longer sense the presence of your prey because you bit someone else, and so their blood has overwritten it. And you are getting very strange messages from where they are until there's a squelching noise from upstairs, and behind Harmonious Flame, thumping to the floor, wounded, is now and bleeding even more, is Derek the carer, as he drops out of his gauntlet cloak and thumps to the floor, looking absolutely looks up, sees you, and is like panicking, trying to get up, running into the bedroom just in abject terror.
Well, that's information. So I turned to Dalu form and I bound up after him.
Okay.
I don't really feel like going after him because I feel sick, but I'm gonna.
Okay, so Harmonious Flame first, Johnny second. You pile into the bedroom, which again is too crisp, too clean mostly. The bed is used, but it's obviously not really a very lived-in room, apart from the books stacked up everywhere. I'd like perception checks from both of you. And obviously, Derek is here. He is cowering in a corner. He was trying to go for the window, like trying to fumble the window open. And kind of, oh shit, I've just got to get out of here. Until you came in, and you're close to his runaway. He's basically cowering in a corner.
Bad success.
And he's not. Again, it's not lunacy. He's terrified because you've repeatedly tried to kill him. Which is, please don't. You don't need to kill me. I'm human. Really, I'm not a rat person.
Yeah, well, you have information, so you're valuable. Johnny rolled 3 successes, which is an exceptional for him.
Okay. Yep. And anything from High Ice Flame?
1.
Okay. So the first thing is, again, this place, in as much as this place is lived in, it's not very lived in. The Bushilu live here, but they don't live in the same human cycles. The books are stacked up, but the order is not. It's not like random or anything in here. This is obviously the current things that the Bushilu is focusing on studying, or reference books that's close to hand. There are, in the brief look over, a lot of these books are folklore texts, religious texts, and some geographical, natural history type things. Johnny, to your eyes, the impression you get from here, again, is systematic. She has been scouring things in a systematic way and looking through, glancing over some of the things. There's a whole chunk in one section that is not current, but is obviously something she's occasionally referred to, which relates to architecture, building, construction, and a few books there that are the occult elements of architecture. You've got the Freemasons and all the stuff of people trying to build in occult stuff into cities and all that kind of stuff. That's not the current issue or current concern, but a lot of the current stuff she's looking at is local folklore and wider books on religion. And she's got all the various holy book texts of various religions and philosophies are piled up quite close to the bed. Very well used and frequently used, recently used.
Whoa,
This
she's
is all the
studying.
stuff that I'm interested in.
Well, it's a library for you. Did you say that out loud, or is it like, were you thinking it?
It's like, out loud, I would probably just say like, that's interesting.
Well, I'd like to
And
know.
then
what
I
she's
turn
up-
my attention back to the guy. Look, your mistress has done something to me. Do you know how to reverse it?
He shrugs. Honestly, I'm surprised you're still alive.
Well,
Daniel.
unsurprise yourself.
Unsurprised yourself. We have a masked bee.
I can't do anything about that. I'm not a doctor.
Do I need a doctor?
I don't know. Maybe look. She's the Flameblast is she's off the fire of St. Anthony's fire. The stuff that grows and it grew, and it's her that she's part of that. Or was it all interconnects. Everything interconnects, man. But just
Can I just slap him just so he becomes more coherent?
you slap him easily. He shrinks back, and he becomes no more coherent. This is his baseline state.
Okay.
No, look, really, she's the fire. It makes people feel that they were feel like they're on fire, right? But what if that was she's like, she has that as her it's hers to command. It's her will. If and he sort of shrugs helplessly.
What did you say it was called?
St. Anthony's fire.
Wait. I'm gonna check the notes.
That a plant or something?
What are you saying in character? Sorry.
In character, I told. Is that a plant?
No, it's a plant, like a plant disease. It used to grow on. It does grow on. I mean, people, if you eat it, then you get crops, grain, rye. I think it becomes infected, like a fungus or a mold, and people eat it, and then
Fungus, yes, that
Yes.
makes sense. I pull up my phone and start googling St. Anthony's
St.
Fire.
Anthony's Fire is another name for ergot or ergotism, which is where big problem in the medieval period when people would have their crops would get infected with a fungus and they'd eat it and they'd feel like they were burning from the disease. It's a fairly mundane disease. It's not very good for you, obviously. It can be lethal, I think. But what shouldn't be having this effect on you. But then again,
But she's a Bashilo and it's magic. Is there some sort of antidote or something?
out character, have a check if you want. Maybe
Science.
check the internet.
Oh yeah, I have science.
See if you find something.
I'm gonna just pick up some of her books and just thumb through them, looking to see if she put any notes in or something like
Lots of them have notes in, written in first tongue, and lots of them are thumbed, creased, and bookmarked.
I'm taking all the books that seem like they were most recently used.
That's quite a lot of books. You know, that is
Oh,
more
yeah.
than your arms full of books.
Yeah. How long have you been
Antibiotics.
working for?
I mean, just like it's been about 3 years since, she, and he's pointing to himself since she,
She what?
he pulls up a bit of his shirt where it's been ragged near where you ripped into it. It doesn't look like you hit him with the chainsaw, at least. It looks like you hit him, maybe bit him or clawed him before he vanished into the gauntlet. And there is a mat of scar tissue on his abdomen, a roughly sort of rat-sized kind of thing, but it's been stitched over. Now, you are a hunter in darkness. If a Bashilu merges with someone, it kills them.
Yeah.
So it looks like a Bashilu has bitten into him and started to dig into him, but obviously it didn't merge with him because he's not dead.
And Johnny's response is, "How the fuck are you still alive?"
She bit me. There was a lot of blood, but she stitched me back up again and said I was part of the burrow now. And it didn't really feel.
Can I make an occult roll to see if there's any Hunter in Darkness lore that Johnny can recall for this kind of a situation?
Int plus occult plus any appropriate specialty if you have one. Sorry, my children are trying to kill one another. 1 sec.
I'm gonna throw a willpower on it. Four successes.
Okay, no, that's really okay. 4 successes is really good. So you're racking your brains, and you vaguely remember mention of something very rare called burrow cultists, who, as far as you're aware, are usually human followers of Bashilu, who presumably are promised power in some way, and the Bashilu perform something like a partial. You've heard. The problem is you haven't seen any hard concrete evidence of this in the few times it's been hearsay and things like that. Is it's people said either some sort of partial joining or a botched joining or something like that hasn't, for whatever reason, they are not fully infested, and then they become appendages of the rat's will in some way.
Okay. So it's kind of like that. There is a rat inside of him, but it just hasn't taken full control.
No.
Rat.
There is no rat inside of him.
Okay.
I guess they are mind linked or something, maybe.
So it's like the Beshaloo equivalent of wolf-blooded.
I guess, yeah. I whistle. Never thought I'd see the day.
Okay. I finished my googling. I have found treatment for this, so I feel calmer about this. Close my phone. Look again back at the guy.
I just poke him in the forehead. You're lucky.
He does not look like he feels lucky.
Do we return at this point from?
Yes. So the two of you, Stormbringer and Thornbreaker, as you're coming back through, the house in the spirit is starting to blister and combust properly. not a little bit of flame. The spirit side of the in the shadow is your. It's a case of get through the house fast enough before it burns around you.
Sure.
Oh, unfortunately, I think we just lost Stormbringer briefly.
Yep. So we've made it through now.
Yes, you're able to get through before the Inferno really starts taking hold.
Okay. Once we get through, Thornbreaker's gonna walk into the bedroom where the three of them are, and say, "You were questioning him."
You're okay,
Yeah.
good.
He's a burrow cultist.
Anything else you think we need to know?
What?
As he says, what? Thornbreaker holds up his hand to silence him.
The adults are talking.
anything else we need to know?
I've heard about this. There's somehow him and Flamegast are somehow joined. I don't know if it's almost like a totem bond where they might be able to sense each other, but he might know where she's gone to ground.
I can't. No, look, I can't. It's not like I can't tell where. I don't know where she. No, it's not. She knows where she's. She needed me to do things, so she did this to me so I could help her, and that gave me some things, but not. But I mean, I knew things already. I knew things. I'd seen things. I knew things, and that's why she thought I'd be useful because I knew stuff. But I don't know where she. It's just not like I'm not. It's not. I'm not psychically linked. It's not like one of the government programs. It's not like that. I don't know where she is. She stayed here. She stayed here because this was her place. It was safe here because it was meant to be safe for her anyway. Until obviously it's not. I mean, it's not safe. They're here, but they're watching. They'll be watching still. They'll be watching. It's. What did she just leave me here?
So Thornbreaker is going to try to calm him down. Would that be a presence plus expression or
presence plus empathy or persuasion?
Empathy or persuasion. Okay.
So Stormbringer, are you back with us?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no, I'm just saying you guys have come back in through the shadow. The shadow of the house was starting to burn around you. If it's something, not quite sure why, and then you've gone into the physical world where it's still apparently normal. You found the hapless human, is in a bedroom cornered by the four werewolves who are questioning him as to what he is and what he knows.
All right. So I still have Voice of Glory up, I'm assuming?
Yes, that's right.
All right. So let's roll here. That's 3 successes. Thornbreaker puts his hand on Derek's shoulder and says, "Take a breath. It's all right."
He takes a deep breath. Right, you are fairly sure you've just calmed him. It hasn't changed his mannerisms at all. This is simply how this guy is.
Sure.
Is she gone? Should she leave me here? Do you mind can I smoke?
Go ahead. Take a smoke.
No, the clink as he.
Yeah.
Because,
Wait.
look,
I help him with the lighter.
She told me that obviously if I didn't help her, then I'd be dead. But she needed someone to be an intermediary because Maul was obviously her guard, devoted to that some sort of religious thing. I don't know. He was, he shudders as he remembers obviously Maul being torn apart while waving a chainsaw around. But she needed someone else as an intermediary because she took the shells. She'd take the old forms to hide so that she'd be safe. But that means she needed someone to go and do. I mean, just things like she looks like the shopping, but we're going to be watched. She's going to be. Listen, if something led you here, it's coming for her, but then maybe it's coming for us. But also the people she worked with will be coming for us, and I don't know what's going to happen. Frantically huffing the smoke down, the cigarette down.
So
We would just take him out of here for more conversations.
Yeah, we should get him out of here. She said for more. I guess so he's not feeling so stuffed up.
So Thornbreaker turns and he looks at his pack mates with this almost stony expression, and then he turns over to Derek, who's smoking calmly. He's gonna try to break his neck.
Wait, before I wanted to know something.
Thornbreaker's acting here for a minute, and he'll tell you why. But let me see how many dice I'm rolling here. 8. He's gonna spend a point of willpower to try to make it quick. He doesn't want to hurt the guy.
Just kill him.
This is
Yeah.
gonna be so botched.
Oh my god, I hope not. Actually. Okay. 3 successes?
You grab him, you start to twist, and you put the pressure on, and he gets towards a yelp, and he clicks. He literally just shrivels out of your head, and he's not there anymore. And you go, and you're grasping the air, you know.
What are you doing?
So when she asks him what he's doing, he turns and responds in first tongue, "Nu bath githul. The herd must not know. He knows too much, he's a liability."
Clearly not a human.
I mean, I tasted his blood. He's a human.
He's not wrong. I'm okay with this only because I'm a hunter in darkness and purities are a big thing. And going by the oath of the moon, he's like, all right.
So what's the deal with what this dude just did? Like,
What?
he just stepped into the gauntlet
We
temporarily?
don't
or
know.
somewhere?
He it's like merging with a locust. He's like one with the gauntlet at the moment.
So he can stay there however long he wants to. As far as we know.
Johnny, take care of
There's
it.
some nodding.
I'm just gonna pull out my knife and wait.
Jack is going to venture into the kitchen. What kind of stove?
I was gonna say, you have the gas
The stove
pouring out of
is
the
already
stove
on.
now.
Is it on burning or just on filling the house?
Just on burning, I think, at the moment. I don't
Yeah,
think Johnny
I
said it to explode.
there's a flame going.
Stormbringer is going to turn off the oven. He's going to then grab the oven and rip it off the wall.
Okay, so are you? Yes, you're strong enough with that in Dalo. It's such a tart. It takes a bit hauling, but you're able to rip it away.
He turns the quarter turn valve for the gas, takes the lighter out of his pocket, and says, "Everybody out. This is going to be fun."
Wait, Thornbreaker wants me to kill a man.
Well,
You just
the
heard the
man
ripping
is trapped.
downstairs.
The man is trapped in the gauntlet. If the house goes up, what's he gonna come out to?
I grab just a handful of books and I give some to Harmonious Flame and I grab some more.
Thornbreaker, give them a
Yeah,
hand.
She was researching something, I say.
He grabs a few of the books and he goes,
Always like this.
and he says to the air,
Johnny.
he says to the air, "Sorry, Derek, I wanted it to be painless and quick." And then he walks downstairs.
Okay, so 3 of you leave the house with armfuls of books.
Johnny's gonna use slip away just so if there's any evidence that exists that he was here, there's even less now.
Okay, and Stormbringer, you are left alone in the house.
All right, so Stormbringer's going to wait a little bit for the smell to start to build up. And then I'm going to look around really quick for a pack of cigarettes, see if they're already there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. He's going to pick one up, pull one out, look at it, and go, dirty habit, and start to walk out of the building. And when he gets to the doorway, he's going to light it and fling the lighter over his shoulder, so it blows the house up.
And cool
Guys,
guys
don't
don't
look
look
at
at
explosions.
There is.
and cool guys
there
don't look
is-
at explosions.
So as the pack are getting out of there is the whomp noise of the gas rupture, going up. The house doesn't sort of literally explode, but there is the detonation inside of the gas cloud catching, flames washing throughout the house. So there's the initial boom, and then the merry crackle as the house the house, the integrity is still there, but it is blazing very quickly. It is flaming like a torch.
For argument of continuing the story, I'm not going to correct you, but remind me to send you a video afterwards of what happens when a natural gas line lets loose under a house. It doesn't just merrily crackle.
Anyway.
It happened in New Jersey, and they found pieces of the house over a half a mile away.
Anyway, so I think Thornbreaker is going to go wait in the bushes to see if somehow Derek weasels his way out of this one.
The house is a blazing inferno. If he can get out through the fire at the moment, he's fireproof as well. He does not seem to be appearing. You are currently hunkered down by the hedge with armfuls of books as sort of Stormbringer has approached.
Stormbreaker's going to look really quick and see if there are cars in the street.
Yes, the cars here are parked in people's drives, not out in the street.
Okay, he's going to push 2 or 3 cars as best he can into the street to block the fire department from getting there.
Just to be aware, as you're coming out, with that thing having gone up, lights are going up all along the street, and people are looking outside the windows, and they're starting to come out.
We should get the hell out of Dodge.
Now, so you are getting hell of dodge with your armfuls of books, trying to basically quietly slip away down the streets, which isn't too hard because you were getting away before the house went up. But you are, if you want to hang around and push the cars out, it will be in front of people who will be looking at the
All right, we'll just move on.
Yeah, we'll move on. I'm actually going to use Dex and Stealth roll because I'm kind of in the middle of it all.
Yep, that's fair. So what's the plan?
I got 2 successes to slip away into the darkness.
Okay, yep, that. You think that's fine, especially in the eyes of just normal humans around here. You are in the dark streets, or the slightly less dark, as a few houses. Fewer houses the further you go. People have woken up to go. There was a big bang of an explosion. What's happened? Oddly enough. Well, the only problem you have is some of you have blood all over you. Otherwise, it would be relatively easy, even if you're carrying books. It'd be like, well, it'd be a bit odd at this time of night, but not clearly linked to an explosion anyway. The problem you're having is that you are all a bit, chewed up, splashed up, or otherwise a bit marked. Although the healing is going well, for those who damaged, it's been at least 15 minutes, so another point in lethal's healed off anyone who's taken any. What is your plan? What's happening now? You are in dark streets of Gleesham with some purloined books.
Probably head back to the pickup, right? We left that in town near the nightclub.
Wasn't far from it wasn't far from where you were now because you followed the magic radar in your head of where the prey was, which is gone because you've tasted someone else's blood.
Yeah.
So getting to the pickup nearby isn't a problem. Load your books in. What now?
By the way, Thornbreaker, who is currently spent all his available willpower, seems emotionally weary at the moment. So he's sort of trudging quietly at the back of the pack at the moment.
Okay. You're at your pickup, piled in. Where are you going?
I'm driving, so I'm gonna start heading back towards the manor, our home.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm going back to Jenny's.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I forgot this all started at Jenny's house.
Yep, you're creeping towards the very early hours of the morning now, but it is still dark. Driving through the streets. Harmonious Flames player is currently dealing with a baby who is flopping around the floor going rah.
Thornbreaker is unusually silent as he sulks in the back of the pickup.
It's hard to have a conversation when you're a wolf.
Well, presumably he's not a
No,
wolf
I'm not
anymore.
anymore. Yeah, no, I was in
well,
Hishu to carry the books.
I guess we ride in silence.
Yeah.
Okay, you ride in silence. You drive up to the streets to Blank Marsh and towards the street which Jenny lives on. You are pulling up. I'd like to point it again. Some of you are a bit bloody, shall we say? So what you are now in front in this suburban street, this town street. Jenny at the windows twitches the window curtains, comes out, sees that you are kind of messy, and goes like, "You can't come in like that."
Well, I was going to say perhaps we should drop the Harmonious Flame off, go home, get the three of ourselves cleaned up, and then we can reconvene later at the manor after some sleep.
Few books with me.
Okay. She looks at your harmless flame, who looks quite sick. She's like, "Are you okay?
I'll be fine. I just need some antibiotics.
Okay. You better get in and use because look, Dad's up, so you got to get in and get into the shower to clean yourself up quickly." Okay. And she ushers her back in, and then the rest of you obviously drive away back to the manor. Now,
Is there an urgent care in the vicinity?
sorry, is there a what? Sorry.
An urgent care equivalent in the vicinity?
In terms of like, as in a
You
like
might not have- you might not
a
have
ready-made
it.
doctor that you can go into and get basic stuff without like an appointment.
I mean, you could go to the pharmacy, but they'd be a bit they won't be open for a little bit. Depends what you want, what you need. If you're going to a doctor, you could probably ring up the NHS and get put into a hospital. But there aren't any hospitals. There's some medical centres here, but not proper like hospitals. Then the other ones, they're not far away, but they're in other bits of the Blackmore Vale.
Well, right. No, we know that Ag needs antibiotics to kick this sickness thing, right? That's what we just established.
No, that is a theory that she
It's a
has.
theory,
Because
right.
the mundane disease of ergotism, you need antibiotics to treat it.
Okay.
I'm also
So-
banking on just
Yeah.
werewolf healing will take care of it eventually, but who knows?
Okay, I was thinking of like, because like you can go to urgent care and get like a baseline antibiotic, and they have them there in stock. So I was thinking we just go break the door in and steal some, or pretend to be sick and get some.
Probably you might struggle to find something like that in Gleesham.
All right, so then we're just gonna go back to the manor. She's on her own. Sorry, Ag.
It's awful.
Our only
She's got to go to the doctor if she has the sniffles. All right,
Our
I was
only-
looking for an immediate solution.
our only
Our
two
only-
speeds are arson and theft, or you're on your own.
Pretty much.
You've forgotten murder.
Arson, theft, and murder, or you're on your own.
Pretty much. This tracks. This tracks.
What was that, Ag?
What are you signing up for?
What were you signing up for, exactly?
Yeah.
We need a proper nanny to keep us in line. I think that's the answer.
Right. So as you drive back, you feel the Siskadar condition lift as the Sacred Hunt's binding on you breaks, which I believe is a breaking point towards flesh.
Crap.
So could you all make harmony rolls, please?
Wait, what was that?
Is it harmony?
What
Is it
was it?
harmony or is it something else? Sorry, it's willpower, isn't it? Breaking point towards flesh, I believe, for the Sacred Hunt breaking off.
Oh.
Yes, resolve plus willpower. Sorry, resolve plus composure plus 2 for your touchdown.
Crap. Flesh is higher, right? I don't want to go high.
Everyone
And
knows?
remember, you gift everyone because it's broken on everyone, and you remember you can't spend willpower or other stuff on this.
Right. Resolve, composure, and what?
Plus 2 for having a touchstone
Okay.
for spirit.
I made a success.
Good success.
One success.
All right.
Okay.
So we all got at least.
So if everyone got at least one success, then you haven't shifted at all. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that needs a shift break off of this.
Oh, would I suffer maybe for falling into Death Rage? Is that a spirit?
It
Breaking
is
point?
not. No, Kurith is not a.
Okay.
What you do in Kurith might do it, but it's not. Doesn't look like it. So, okay. The main thing is you feel the Sacred Hunt snap. You've simply pulled too much away from the prey that you were originally pursuing, and done too much other stuff for the Sacred Hunt to hold. You feel the spiritual lash. It's not anger or anything like that. It's simply you've pulled too far from the course in the Sacred Hunt break. So, Pack return to base with your books. It's very early in the morning. I assume you're going to bunker down for a night to get some sleep and let your bodies mend themselves.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So you bunker down.
When they get back for the night, as they enter the house, Thornbreaker stops in the front hallway and says, "We need to have a conversation tomorrow as a pack. We've been too fast and loose with calling sacred hunts before we know what we're really up against, and that's why we failed today.
Stormbringer just kind of shrugs his shoulders and walks into his room.
At this point, Johnny's probably just like permanently has like a thing of like whiskey set up at the front of the foyer, just so when he comes in, he pours himself a glass, shoots it down, and goes, "You're not wrong."
Okay, so the pack
Heads up to bed.
disperse. So one thing to note, Storm, it's 15 minutes per lethal healing, so I think everyone will be healed back up of all lethal.
Okay.
The gremlin returns. So Harmonious Flame, you've gone back inside. The house has woken up. There's something going on with the father and Sarah, the older of your cousins. Jenny gets you to kind of get yourself washed up and things, and just pretend you've been woken up early or whatever, so forth.
So, I come downstairs or wherever it is that everyone else is gathered, totally woken up just now. So, are people in the room?
So something's going on in Sarah's room. Between the father and Sarah. Sorry, we're having a wailing baby again here who's having a breakdown on the floor. It's as if the weight of the world is upon her shoulders.
Oh.
I know that feeling.
One second. Okay, so yeah, the day you woke up, Jenny is quietly talking to me. What happened? Did you get the rat?
Complicated. We got some rats, but I don't know if we got the right rats. That makes sense.
Okay. Okay, fine. Well, I mean,
What's going on here?
just Dad woke up because the noise Sarah's making, so he's just talking to her. I don't know what she's telling him about what happened. I don't know how much she's just have to wait. Okay.
Is my uncle a wolf-blooded as well?
No, but he's not capital wolf, the WB. He is somewhat aware of some of the family oddities going on, but he's not in on it fully, and he's not a empowered wolf-blooded. Right, so this baby. Crawl and load my lap. There we go. So, night passes. I'm afraid Harmonious Flame isn't going to have a chance to get point willpower back by sleeping because the house is waking up and you are too much have to be, I've just woken up, I've had night's sleep. Everyone else gets a point willpower back for the night's rest. So, presumably come morning. So, first we'll focus on the pack in the manor. You have woken, roused, to find a new day, a wet day, rainy day. And if you wish to have any conversations or the like, now is probably the time to have it, unless you want to go and grab Harmonious Flame first.
Stormbringer is walking around whistling and excited because it's a rainy day.
Good day for Stormbringer.
Johnny is making some coffee and throwing on some bacon or whatever we have in the house.
I'm assuming Samantha gives me the normal cheerful mirror message of who's afeard.
Samantha.
No, it's gone.
Interesting. Okay. That's strange to him. He takes note of it. Whether it's true or not, in his mind, he's assuming it has to do with something of them breaking off the sacred hunt and the spirits snubbing them this morning. He walks downstairs and he ends up taking a cup of coffee once it's done and sits at the table in the kitchen.
Stormberger's going to grab a cup of coffee and sit on the counter rather than at the table.
And then Johnny just throws like whatever eggs and bacon he cooked up onto 3 plates, hands them out, and takes a seat at the table with his cup of coffee and bacon and eggs.
So, first of all, well done on dispatching Maul. I'm glad that...
At the mention of Maul, Stormberger's going to rub his ass.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm glad that we didn't suffer any egregious wounds in the battle. But obviously there's more than meets the eye to the interactions between the Becheloux. And I feel like it would have been easy enough for us to figure out before we called the Sacred Hunt. And I think that all of us were swept up in a bit of bloodlust and leapt before we looked. And there will be consequences for us not completing our oath to the spirits taking this hunt, because that is what it is when we call a sacred hunt. It's not a song and dance. It's not a pageant. It's a promise. It's a statement to the spirits that we are carrying on the legacy of Urfara, that we are the police that keep the order that needs to be kept for there to be peace, and that we are taking action to enforce that peace. And we didn't keep that promise last night. Are we in agreement that we need to make more of an effort to know our real enemy before we take this vow again?
I sip my coffee.
I don't see why not.
That was a shit show.
You didn't get your ass chainsawed off.
Yeah,
No.
but
Yeah.
I almost botched the operation more with my death rage.
Knuth happens. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but he's just throwing a little bit of his first change. My first change was rough, and I guess it never really left me. If that makes sense.
Kuruth poses a danger not just to our foes, but to our pack. Nothing is more important than our pack. Speaking of, Harmonious Flame was invaluable in steadying Johnny. She already has a connection to Jenny, who I am hoping we can bring into our pack. Are the two of you in agreement that we should bring both Jenny and Harmonious Flame into the pack?
I nod.
Yeah, it's kind of my plan anyway.
Is the Unconquered Raven around?
It is now.
He just turns and then it's just there. Wherever he looked, he would be there.
Perched on the chair next
Yes.
to you, on the back of the chair.
You have charged me with being your voice, powerful and wise totem. What do you say?
A banner exists for others to rally beneath it. A war standard needs an army to see it as a symbol. The threads that bind us in a tapestry as one sang. This hunt was chaos war is chaos. It did not all go as you sought. No plan ever does. But you did, however frayed, operate with the beginnings of a wholeness. You sought to temper, as a Thornbreaker, you sought to temper and to lead. The chaos of battle consumed your efforts, but you sought them. I would see this warband grown. I would see more stand in the shadow of this banner. You have begun to weave that greater pattern, that greater war banner. Yes, I would think highly of your efforts. I would see these ranks grown.
Thornbreaker nods. Then it's decided. We will offer both Jenny and Harmonious Flame spots within our pack.
Should probably call them and get them over here.
Who wants to make the
Speaking of-
call?
We have Harmonious Flame's number.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
From last fight. At least Stormbringer has it.
All right.
I do.
There you go.
I text her the address of the house. Tell her to meet in the barn. Bring Jenny.
Harmonious Flame, thank you for the drumming, Molly. Harmonious Flame, you are sitting, you're having some breakfast with Jenny, and she's quietly whispering, talking to you, and it's like, what did you kill? You know, is anyone dead? Was trying to get the salacious details out of you. Now, the news this morning, the local news thing, it's like, dun, 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 local news. There was a gas explosion in a house in St. Peters, I think is the nice part of town. The police obviously did some pictures of some firemen hosing the building down in the early hours of the morning, and there's not much else other than that about it, because obviously any investigations will happen at early stages anyway. There's no news about casualties or the like. So there's a certain amount of town in shock as gas explosion consumes building in
Except for 4 people.
The only thing that you note is that the news comes on these is the house was owned by Camilla Prendergast, an old lady by the locals. The authorities have not yet confirmed whether or not she was in the building at the time of the explosion.
Since it looks like Jenny, our existence and stuff has been revealed and the details, I regale Jenny with the details of the hunt, and tell her that we have followed met this other with this other rat that appears to be a different rat, and basically share with her my suspicions that we've been manipulated somehow into fighting with that other rat by the ones that attacked her sister.
So she listens, her eyes are wide about this, and then then obviously your phone pings from Stormbringer with the she sees the address. Thank you, Molly. I guess that's the mansion. That's Kestrel Hall.
I show her the text saying that bring Jenny with you. I guess they want us both there.
Well, I should be due to go walk the dog early, so I'll just tell Dad I'm going to go early, all right, and then we can go. It's not far to walk, to be honest, out of town. So within the hour in the barn, so Kestrel Hall, the estate is very much an old estate. From what you only have very vague memories of it, Harmonious Flame, and even then it was run down. It's been cleared. It's obviously people have gone over. They've cleared a lot of the undergrowth. They've cleared back a lot of stuff, but the place is in a pretty shambolic state overall. It's something of a construction site in many ways. The old building is there's scaffolding outside the hall where a tiny handful of maintenance guys are working on trying to patch some of the damage to the building. But it does look like people are working on it to improve it.
Got one question. Do I feel better or worse this morning or the same?
Oh, you feel fine. You don't feel sick at all.
Okay.
Yep, no trace of any disease about you. Apart from there's odd muck on your bed where you're sleeping, like the dead spores and stuff, and you needed a bit more of a scrub wash to scrub your skin, but otherwise you're fine.
Am I still on -2
No,
or -1 or
you're
whatever?
not on any penalties.
Okay.
The tilt isn't on you, and you are no longer sick. The body expelled it overnight. It was much more vicious than Ergot should be. You're pretty sure that would have done very bad things to a normal human being. Back on the estate, so it's raining, but it's not dark. It's not a very dark day. A bit of wind, rain splashing down. And as soon as you enter the yes, thank you, Molly. So just to show you, right, that she's put this on a mug on my desk and is now shouting at it because she's very helpful. In the shadow, you see the totem, this raven spirit with threads of gold and silver feathers perched on the top thing of the barn. And the pack are there in the barn as you arrive. Presumably, you're there in the barn anyway. So out of the rain, Jenny comes. Jenny looking like she has not slept very much last night. Black bags under her eyes, slightly. Really, Molly? Yes, it's a very exciting cat statue.
Future storyteller.
She's screaming at the Bechalou. Who sent you?
Yeah, she's questioning. Jenny is looking the worse for wear, but in the way that a young teenager does. In a kind of, she's still full of vim and vigor, more animated in some ways than you've seen her for a long time. She's been operating for a very long time under suppression, or not suppression, but hiding in a way. What she can do and so forth, and now suddenly someone's basically opened up this mad storybook and gone, you have powers, you have supernatural powers. There's a shitload of other stuff as well, and she's almost excited. She feels on the verge of something, maybe learning more. Harmonious Flame just looks like she hasn't had a good night's sleep, but she no longer looks sick, so that's a plus.
Oh, good.
Shades off. Oh, this is your place. Look around.
It's seen better days.
Looks pretty much like I remember it.
It's a work in progress.
I'm sipping coffee in the barn. And I gesture to Thornbreaker. You have a better way with words than I do.
Harmonious Flame. I didn't get a chance to thank you last night for grounding Johnny.
Okay, that's my job.
Still, he was not part of your pack and therefore was not your responsibility in that moment. However, we discussed it and would like to rectify that. If you're going to be staying here, I think that it would be fitting if you would return to your family's home here on the grounds of Kestrel Hall. We would like to officially invite you to join the oncoming storm, our pack. And, he turns to Jenny, while this is all very new to you, your blood is of our blood. We would like you to become part of our family as well.
She sort of points up. How does? What? I'm a bit confused. Sorry, what do you mean? Join that? Like, is this some sort? Is this like crime family type talk? Like swearing into the mafia kind of thing?
She smiles.
Or is it something like you?
He smiles.
It's a bit of a gang.
Sort of. It's more complicated than that, but it means you would be bound to us. we would be bound to protect you and you to help us, a family. It really is like a family.
Well, I mean, obviously, Marta is family. So you can literally turn into wolves, and Martha said that you were hit with a chainsaw last night. She says, pointing at Stormbringer, and you're fine. So I don't want to sound too like I'm. What would be the word? I don't want to sound like I'm making light of the offer, but she points herself. I'm not really sure why you want me in your crime family.
Keep it grounded.
Animals really like me. It's not
Did anyone
exactly.
call Pete's cousin for this? She is a member of the pack already too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
oh
not here,
yeah,
no,
that's
she's
fair.
at work.
Yeah.
Okay, no, the reason I was asking is it's kind of like one of those, hey, point to her, so
Yeah.
she can't turn and she's one of us too. It goes
No,
much
yeah.
deeper than that.
Thornbreaker.
Like, I don't know. Have you seen this comedy duo? Right, I can't remember what they're called, but I saw some friend of mine show me YouTube when they had like BMX Bandit and Angel Summoner. Right, and it's like a superhero duo. One of them is the BMX Bandit, and his power is he has a BMX bike, and he's really good at riding. And the other guy summons legions of God's angels. So every time they get in trouble, the BMX Bandit goes, "I'm going to pull awesome bike tricks," and then the Angel Summoner goes, "Or I could summon God's angels," and the angels solve the problem. I'm not trying to make light off. I just feel like maybe I don't understand what I can do for you. It's like I'm the BMX Bandit, right? And you're the angel summoners in this situation. Yeah.
So we can't be everything. We can't be everywhere all at once. You're an extra set of eyes with what's going on in the territory.
I appreciate. Yeah, go on.
More importantly, due to our nature, we kind of lose sight of humanity, and people like you, people like my cousin, help keep us grounded.
I mean, I spend most of my time with animals. I might not be the best choice for that.
Sometimes, people like us bond with humans, or wolf-blooded humans, as it were, and inexplicably, I can't explain it, but you and I have bonded in that way.
Whoa, is this some creepy pedophile thing?
He shakes his head no in exasperation, realizing that his words are failing him, and he says, "Think of me like a big brother. You, for some reason, help ground my humanity, and as a result, I feel a strong urge to protect you. It would be easier for me to do that.
With the look of a teenage girl who is not convinced entirely that it is not a creepy paedophile.
Yeah, sure.
He's going, but has seen enough shit going on that, and you haven't done anything apart from be generally creepy rather than that kind of creepy. Well, if I join your crime family, do I get, paid?
You'll maintain your job walking the dog.
Well, I'll get paid for that, so yeah, okay, so I do get paid.
We don't get paid either. It's okay.
So, what do I have to do if I say yes?
Nothing. Yeah, the answer is the bond between us becomes more than just friendship. It becomes
a creepy pedophile.
Is this a creepy pedophile thing?
No, he pauses before he even says it, anticipating.
Says it before she gets a chance to.
and when he says this with this dripping, he hates using this word. He feels like it trivializes what werewolves actually are, but he goes, "It's magical," because it's just the easiest word for him to use to get her to understand it, but he hates it.
So we get magically bonded.
Literally burst out laughing a little bit.
He nods.
That, in a way, that probably helps, ease things in a way, because the fact that Stormberry is just laughing at his packmate. So we get magically bonded. I join your magical crime family of werewolves.
Yep.
And you will stop the rats trying to, eat me and my sister.
Yes.
Pretty much.
That and those.
And my cousin is part of one of these crime families already, or...
She's been
We're
invited to
inviting her right
join
now.
ours also.
Okay.
I used to be part of other families, but crime families.
Magical crime families.
Magical
I'm
crime
still really
families.
disappointed that I don't get, a letter to go to Hogwarts or something, though. I just want to... I want to
can
register
send you a
that
letter
complaint.
if you want.
We could.
Look, but
Hogwarts.
I don't actually want to go to Hogwarts. I hate the Harry Potter books and all that shit. No, I'm just taking the piss, okay? Is that safe? Are you going to turn to werewolves and eat me if I say the wrong thing?
No. I'm kidding.
Okay, so is there is this going to be like one of those American or like those Freemason things, or those American stuff? Do I have to do some crazy some sort of ceremony to join, or do you just say you're in, or what happens now?
Well, I think now our totem takes over, right? Because he officially spearheaded it the first time around, right? So
Kind of, yeah. But he didn't actually. You asked, yes, kind of. You made
because
symbolic
he
gestures.
we mingled our essences, and so
Yeah.
I think we sort of have to make it ritualistic and make it our own thing, and then he'll seal the deal.
Okay, well, I'll say yes, because everything has gotten way too strange, and maybe, but you will owe me more answers, more information. Tell me more about what the hell's going on, right? Because, if I have to go to school and watch under my desks for evil killer rats and stuff, or if the oozers are going to come and try and shake me down or whatever, I'd like to know more about what the hell is going on, but maybe you'll actually take me seriously, because God knows no one else did.
So,
And she actually takes the slight humour to, because she was partly taking the piss when she was saying about the paedophile stuff. The humour goes because no one ever really took any of this shit seriously. I tried to tell people at first and they didn't believe me.
there are different levels that people who aren't werewolves are allowed to know about the truth behind your world. For example, Johnny's cousin Mary understands what we are but doesn't really know the nuances of what we do. But because of the bond you and I share, I will promise you that I will be transparent with you.
Stormberger's going to cough and say, pedophile, under his voice.
And Thornbreaker's
Thornbreaker
countenance
alert.
literally drops.
But Jenny kind of tries to choke a laugh.
He's trying to take some of the oh my god out of this for her.
She looks to Harmonious Flame, who is apparently doing exercises with a small creature, and says, so, is this a good idea, Marta? You've been really quiet.
I nod. Yes, this is a good idea. The bond will protect you.
Okay, then yes, I guess. So what? So do I? So yeah, what do I do?
Look expectantly at the other three.
Maybe we should have discussed this beforehand. Just saying.
No, so Johnny's gonna whip up some. He's gonna just find.
Can
try
you
and go into-
rephrase that?
Yeah, right. No, Johnny's gonna go into the house and get some ink. Is the best way he can think of it, and he's going to just mark Harmonious Flame and Jenny in some first tongue glyphs. The pack's name in first tongue, symbols of the unconquered raven and stuff like that. again, there's no like hard or fast right, but he's just kind of codifying it.
Mm-hmm. So daubing the signs on them.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mark them. See, I don't know what Harmony's famous are, but Jenny stands there expectantly waiting to be told like to repeat the magic words or whatever.
Nope.
One thing I'd like to incorporate into our ritual is for those of you who have seen, I think it actually comes from some Native American traditions, but the most recent incorporation in media I can think of is in the movie Avatar, where they all sort of, each one places a hand on the shoulder of someone else in the pack, as showing like a joining of unity, that you're sort of all part of the same unit. I'd like to incorporate that when we bring new people into the pack. If the whole pack gathers and we'll all put a hand.
Okay.
So maybe we can call Mary away for a lunch break so she can be part of that.
Okay, so you call Mary and she's like, oh, it's like, hey, it
We
works.
got a little
And you say,
hip for a war
we're
band.
going to swear some more packmates, and she's like, wait, what? Okay, fine. Comes away from lunch, but so within the hour, she's there, Mary's there. So Farmer's Flames reference, Mary is a sort of fairly lean woman, not she's very thin, black hair done back in a bun. Looked a little. There is a faint family resemblance with Johnny, but really not much of one. And she, oh wait, baby. She, so she comes in and is like, okay, so something's obviously happened while I was away at work. Was this last night? I had some noises last night. I woke up briefly. Were you off killing things again?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We can neither confirm nor deny that statement.
Oh shit! Were you the gas explosion?
I have no idea what you're
We
talking
can
about.
neither
I
confirm
think
or
my hair
deny
might be-
that
Johnny,
statement.
you can't go around blowing parts of the town up. This isn't America, all right?
Rats can't
We
go
really
around
need to
infesting
take you to
people,
America.
but yet they do.
Not the fucking. Is it the rat things that chew into people?
Yes, the
Yep.
rat things that chew into
Oh
people.
no! I get
I'm gonna take special exception to
How
that.
much do you really know?
I know enough about. I was told enough about some things to watch the hell out for, and the rats that wear you like a skin suit was bloody well one of them.
Yep. Yeah. So those were involved, and I'm gonna blow up a house if they were involved. Sorry.
You can't just keep on blowing houses. Okay, so anyway, who are? Oh, the Jenny, obviously. Jenny, hold. Sorry, Jenny. Did you tell Jenny about this stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you okay? She says to Jenny, and Jenny's like, I don't know this woman very well, so I'm just gonna go.
Stormberger's gonna look at Jenny and then look at I can't remember, like the cousin. Who's Pete's cousin again?
Mary.
Mary.
So Stormberger's gonna look at Jenny and then look at Mary, and then do one of those really bad, like trying to hide it, and goes,
Can't hear you.
That didn't broadcast what you said.
he's gonna do she thinks Thornbreaker's a pedophile, and we're going along with it because it's funny.
She looked back at Ross and was like, so now you've blown a house up and you're sex criminals. Great.
No.
This
Just
is
him.
what I am
Not me.
spiritually bonded to. And she's like, oh, wait, would table flip if there was a table to flip? All right, so Jenny, at least, obviously, okay, so.
If she could become a werewolf in Death Rage, this would be her moment.
And who, as she points, sorry, I'm very sorry, who are you?
I'm Marta. I'm Jenny's cousin.
And we're just scraping the whole family up now? She says to Johnny, and just bringing everyone in?
Keeping it in the family. Yep.
Yeah, so, this is a kind of thing we do.
Okay, but
Alright.
Jenny, I understand, because if I understand correctly from what, what's Thornbreaker's real name again? I can't remember from he made.
Jack.
His
I'm sorry,
his
Bill.
name is Bill.
Bill
You're
said-
Jack.
Bill said you can, there's the thing with the animals, but he points at Harmonious Flame.
Oh, she can do what we can do.
She's
a
another
werewolf.
werewolf.
You can't tell.
Yep.
You like knew looking at me in a half second.
Yeah, that's because, yes, but now I'm in a barn full of werewolves smelling. It's hard to pick out the individuals. Okay.
Hey. We don't smell funny.
You smell funny.
You smell funny. Yes, Jack is reverting to a little bit of his baser nature.
Okay, fine. I mean, so they're coming on board. They know everything. They're okay. It's not my choice really, but did you warn them
Warn us?
About the dangers of werewolf life?
No.
No. Mary, stop. Stop. Jack's gonna.
I don't even know what we're trying to warn them about. Johnny's just like, I live my life in constant danger. What do I have to warn you about?
Okay, look, I'm here. Let's get on with this.
Thank you.
I've got to get back to work. They'll notice I haven't gone too far. My lunch break goes on. My early lunch break goes on too long.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this.
A bit
Okay.
of comedy.
So
today's
Thornbreaker walks over to Jenny and he puts his hand on her shoulder and he mumbles, "Don't make it weird."
She says quietly, "It's weird."
So I was gonna say, Stormbreaker's gonna walk around behind the two of them and lean over to Thornbreaker. It already is weird.
I do the same, but I don't say anything. I just give Thornbreaker the "it's weird" look.
He stares daggers at Johnny.
So are you doing the gathering in everyone with the arm thing you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary comes in looking like she's like a kind of a eye rolly kind of look. She comes in. So you're gathered in.
Spiritual weight to this, Mary.
And she's calming. She's less irate now. She's getting a bit more into it. Okay, so you gather in, and is there anything else part of this you're going to do, or are you hoping this will seal the deal, just the ring?
Well, Unconquered Raven does kind of need to explode out of their chest, so I feel that was gore.
You know what?
Speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for them to start coughing up ravens.
Speech. Thornbreaker is going to make sort of stirring speech about unity and the binding of many into one, and the long-standing history of the Uratha and all that stuff. I will make a presence plus expression roll.
Okay, so make the roll. As you're doing that, Jenny, at first, she's looking in that slightly tense, slightly jokey way, like she wants to kind of take the piss a bit, but she's at the same time she's tense, she's excited, she's scared. So the kind of she doesn't say anything stupid, but she looks like she's sort of she doesn't think this is a joke. Mary's irateness subsides, and she is ready. She's listening, but she's looking at Harmonious Flame and Jenny tensely and readily for what she thinks is going to happen. What did you get on the roll?
4 successes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
baby.
so Harmonious Flame, it's a pretty good in-pack initiation speech. It's as these things go, of the ones you've heard. He is surprisingly eloquent with it. I say surprisingly because after last night's chaos. But this is not the words of someone who's just going umming and ahhing. It's someone who's just get it. The Unconquered Raven is there in twilight. You don't know when it turned up, but it's there on the rafters in the barn. Obviously, Jenny and Mary can't see it. And then you feel it as it says, and again, only the two Wolffellow can't hear it. It says, "You are welcome in the shadow of this banner. As the words are spoken to call you in to these ranks, so you are accepted." And then
The wolf-blooded, so they hear it.
okay, yeah. When Stormbringer says that in the flesh, there is something resonating to his voice, like a stronger weight than is simply would be there with Stormbringer's normal voice. An extra timbre, extra resonance to it. Harmonious Flame, you feel a tingling, burning sensation, pain inside your chest, from your heart flaring with heat and pain. Jenny looks like nods, then frowns, then starts to tense slightly, and so there is the noise as Jenny gets and a splash of blood from her mouth as you see the beak crack, jaw crack open, and the raven pulls itself out of her throat, and harmonious flame, the crunching in your chest cracks as rib breaks and snaps. A bloody beak tears itself out, and the raven comes out of your chest. And these two birds circle, cawing as they go. Jenny is there, kind of go, and immediately Mary's there because she was expecting this and is trying to help stop the girl from just falling over. And the ravens go out the door and up into the air, out of sight. Harmonious flame, your flesh is already knitting together. You have felt the totem bond sear into your soul. It is fierce, this bond. It is not weak. The rest of you feel the threading connection of harmonious flame connected to your pack. The connection to Jenny hasn't formed properly. And she is there, and she looks up, and you can see something like limning of flame off the blood she's spattered, and she's looking confused and shocked. Merrick's going, "What's happening?" As Jenny starts to go into convulsions.
Oh crap!
And literally just topples over and is thrashing in a fit.
Something's wrong. What's going on? Is there another spirit? Is there...
I'll be right back. I just gotta go do something.
So Thornbreaker looks with deep concern at Jenny, and his next instinct is to look up at the totem for guidance.
The totem looks down sternly, impassively, and then says, after a moment, as the girl's thrashing it, "There are 2 other claims on her. I am warring with them. They are weak, but they are present. One is a spirit. A spirit has claimed her. I can pry it free. The other is a werewolf. They are not... The spirit's bond is not as a totem, but as an owner. I will burn it away, but it will hurt me. It will cost me. The other, the werewolf, is not... It is not as a brother or a kindred. It is not the bond of a packmate. It is something else. I will burn the spirit one free, and the silver feathers on the unconquered raven gleam with silver, rip into silver fire, and the golden feathers burst into golden flame. And in twilight, you see the totem there blazing as it burns through essence. In a brief moment, the flame burning on the child and the girl flicks to the silver and gold as well and matches it. And after a moment, that subsides. The totem croaks weakly as, "I have freed her from the spirit. Its essence is of the fox. It will still see her as its possession, but its claim is pride free. The other sick bonding, something wrong."
It's the fucking tyrant again.
I was gonna say it sounds like a tyrant.
I cannot claim her for this pack. The convulsions, at least, have subsided. She simply passes out. She should be ours. She should be our sister. But I cannot. The claws of the other are dug too deep. And this is the first time you've seen the unconquered raven really anything other than fairly calm and impassive. It is usually like a standard banner, simply.
I think it's.
It is hurt and it is angry. You think? The sense on the totem bond is actual anger, not at being denied a toy, but it is infuriated at what it sees as a violation of some kind. I will not let go, but I cannot pull her free.
To help the raven, because it looked like it burned through a lot of essence, I cut a deep gash in my arm and present.
Okay. It dips its beak in twilight and drinks. It'll take a couple of points of essence from you. That's all at the moment. I will not weaken my warriors. I will not let her go, but I cannot pull her free.
We need to deal with this. We need to deal with the tyrant.
It is the bond, the claim, is twisted and sick. You must somehow break the bond, sever it, unleash. I have not seen this. It is ill. It is wrong, perverted. It is not how it should be. Mary, who can't hear any of this, is there going, okay, well, I've got her on back. She's put in a recovery position. Okay, she seems to have subsided. She's, what the fuck was that? The raven popping out her throat? That was bad enough. She's like, is this like a? Is she a? Don't tell me you've chosen someone who's fucking allergic to werewolves. That's just like
Something's gone wrong. We're taking care of it.
Taking care of.
It's not their fault. Someone else has put a claim on her.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's not your fault. She's just Stormbringer, and I'm not trying to get angry with him. Just we have a young woman on the floor of our barn who's just passed out, and I hope she comes round again. She was just burning with magic flame. This is going to be hard to explain if she doesn't come round. At least the fire's died out.
Relax. We'll figure this out. She'll be okay.
I turn to Thornbreaker. Sounds like another werewolf did this. Do you know anything in your lore about this?
I know exactly who did this.
Really?
Thornbreaker grits his teeth so loudly that you all can hear it, and he turns to Harmonious Flame and says, "Take me to them."
So then.
Stormbringer is going to grab
bit,
his trusty wood carving axe and follow along.
Okay, so the current players follow Harmonious Flame, who's just said, "Let's go then," and that's the whole explanation thus far. You're gathering. Sorry,
Johnny's going to pick up one of the swords that was in the fire.
Yeah, they still need to have their hilts rebound, but you can still stab someone up with one. It's pretty well. So
if this is a family sword, I'm going to use it.
You're gathering this stuff up, and then Mary's like going, "I guess I'm just being left with the unconscious girl then."
Yes, make sure she stays out. Make sure she keeps breathing.
I will carry Jenny into the manor and put her on a bed before we go.
I look at Mary. You're gonna need to call in sick. You're not going back to work today.
Yeah, I get it. She goes in with Johnny, and you haul up.
So before she leaves, Thornbreaker actually walks over to Mary, and he puts his hand on her shoulder and he says, with more sincerity and compassion than he normally displays, says, "Please make sure she's all right."
Mary looks at you fairly levelly. She's seriously rattled. She goes, and she says, not with directed anger at you. She's not berating you, but she goes, "It was one thing for me." Johnny's head of you. He's my cousin. He's family, right? And it was one thing with me. You got to be careful. She's just a young woman. She can speak to animals or something. This is serious business.
He says, "She is family, and I will take care of this."
Stormbreaker's gonna kind of get a little angry at the moment. He's gonna kind of snap at Mary a little bit. You are not in charge of this pack. You can make suggestions, not demands. Keep her alive, keep her breathing, and trust that we will take care of the rest. And I'm going to grab Thornbreaker and shove him out the door and start heading out.
You think you got a reaction from her, a mixture of obviously fear because you're a scary wolf, and she literally had to stop her lips from curling to she doesn't usually react like this, like to go like show teeth snarl, but she fought it down, and then so he goes up with Johnny. You settle the girl on the bed, and Mary's like, "Right, just okay, put on her side, etc." She's going through basic first aid type stuff to make sure she doesn't choke on her own tongue. While she's doing this, for the moment's glimpse, and you only see it for a second, where you look up, and this is not one of the old rooms. It's mostly cleared of furniture that's been in, but there's one of the things is an old dresser which has a mirror on it. And for a moment, you look up, and there is a woman's face in the mirror that is not one you recognise. And you barely catch it, and then you look back, and it's simply gone. There is no presence in the shadow or twilight here that you can see. There's just that moment of like, no, I definitely just saw a woman's face there. Gaunt, slight something possibly of a family resemblance, but it doesn't look like either of the women who have appeared with the spirit, the ancestor spirit.
Samantha.
And it was there for a slight. Just there for a moment.
I don't say anything in the room, but when I leave and I walk across a mirror, I stop and I just go, "Was that you?" And like, if anyone else saw me, it'd be like I'm talking to myself. But
you look from it in the mirror, and you see your own reflection when you look at it is not yours. It is the Great Aunt's, and she says, "What will she say?" This baby ululating behind me. Yeah, strange, spooky noises.
That's
It's
what she
first time.
says. She goes,
It is not. She uses a first tongue word that translates as both you and us, a kind of collective you, but also me, because it's an ancestor spirit. It doesn't have that differentiation between you and it completely. It goes, it was not we. You are not yet not a disappointment.
not yet, not a disappointment.
Still a
How
disappointment?
much of your blood do you really know? And then the ancestor spirit is gone.
Double negative of me.
Motherfucker!
Pretty much. Johnny just knocks over a vase and leaves.
Okay,
Chris,
so
nothing the old wolf did would still be in effect anymore, right? In terms of like blood spells or anything.
well, it depends what she did. Rites may still be in effect. Gifts probably won't be, but they might. But most gifts don't last more than a month anyway, and you have the longest lasting gifts are linked to the cycle of the moon for roughly a month, and you have been here for more than a month now. So,
Right.
Could stuff she has done still be lingering? Maybe, but
Unlikely. That's the problem with Jenny, though.
that is almost certainly not the problem, because the totem would probably have gone. It's an ivory claw, right? The totem would probably have picked up on the nature of that.
Gotcha.
Instead, the totem is going. It's not the totem isn't going. You have over possessive ivory claw relatives. It's going. This is a perverted bond. This is spiritually sick.
Gotcha. So we're gonna go rip apart and not live, and I'm gonna break the oath of the moon because I'm gonna kill this one. Yeah, we're going full destroyer.
So
I break them all, gather them around in a room somewhere, because I don't think I have managed to figure out yet where the lair of this guy is. And I lay out all the information I have gotten on him.
okay, before you break into that, we should probably wait for John to get back, so we don't have to tell him twice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say you're gathering in a bit of the hall, basically around the table in the hall, by the hall area, with the kind of place you usually drop your keys and stuff, because you're all getting ready to go out. So presumably Harmony's Flame is there sort of, if you need any space, that little table, that side table will do the job. He is back.
I was saying, while we wait for Pete to get back, I'm going to grab Thornbreaker real quick as we walk over to listen to Harmonious Flame and explain to him that I wasn't mad at him for trying to comfort Mary or make Mary feel better. There's nothing we can do in that situation, and we're just wasting time and putting Jenny in more danger by sitting here arguing with her. Like, yes, I get it, she's upset, but you know what? A, she's not Uratha, and B, standing there arguing with her does Jenny no good, and we need to keep moving forward on this.
Thornbreaker is not even hiding it. He's obviously tuned up, but he says, "We have no quarrel, brother." But you can tell he's completely tuned up about what's going on with Jenny.
It's because I grabbed him and threw him out the door that I was like, "Yo,
sure." And he's like, he didn't even.
Alpha, and I'm doing what Alpha's doing. I'm keeping us moving forward while we're all trying to stay stationary.
You could tell he didn't even register it. He literally is hyper focused at the moment, And so you could just tell that your Pac-Man is tuned up right now. That's all.
Johnny just
So-
comes out and he's
Yep.
sharpening one of the swords.
You gather in the hall by the little table there, as Homo's Flame is presumably going to lay out what you're about to go and do, or where you're supposed to go, because none of you know. But so, what you going to tell them?
So, Grisham. Oh. So there's a tyrant in Grisham, a tyrant, ghost wolf. His name is Cooley Hawkhurst. Cooley Hawkhurst. He's an architect.
Yeah, I know. I've
And
heard of him.
he used to operate when I used to live here. He's been here for a very long time. And this guy, he doesn't believe in werewolf myth. He thinks that he's some sort of punishment from the god that's been sent out to punish basically wicked people. He runs a cult of regular people, and he also seeks out wolf-blooded. He, like Jenny and like I was at the time. Basically, this guy has set himself up, I guess, as a totem of his sort of cult. And I always thought it was more of a metaphorical totem, being a totem, but it looks like there's an actual bond, actual spiritual bond there. He must have claimed Jenny at some point as part of his pack.
Thornbreaker.
She also
Thornbreaker.
mentioned a fox.
He turns
Would that have
to
anything to do with it?
Stormbringer.
I don't think the fox is relevant at this moment.
There was that group harassing Jenny, trying to get her to join them. Did we ever find out more about them?
The Oozers.
Yeah,
Yes, that's them.
that's the connection. Also, do you recall when I lost my eyes? And I'm gonna kind of think back. Actually, I took notes that day. Yay!
Clever boy.
So there was, yeah, right. There was a landscape of stone, flickering perspectives. Okay, so he operates out of a very nice uppity office, but he was aware of, so whatever it was that happened to me with the eye, which I actually wanted to ask you, Chris. Has there been any? Because I spend a lot of spare time in the glass works. Has there been anything else from the eye?
No, it's been completely quiet.
Really?
Almost worryingly so.
Ooh.
Well, that's the kind of thing that Jack is going to keep. Like every time that eye shows up, he's going to stare back into it because that was trippy,
it
and he
hasn't
kind of
appeared, which is probably good, but also might be a bit worrying.
right. So Hawkhurst, right, and that had to do with the Twisted Tree. That was later.
Yeah, you got a rapid fire set of glimpses of things.
Yeah.
You're not sure if they
So I got
connected to
a
one
glimpse
another.
of where Hawkhurst is, and the fact that now I know he's a werewolf and not just wolf-blooded.
He has an office in Grisham.
Wait, we think it's Hawkhurst? Or
We know it's Hawkhurst.
It's definitely him.
Also, it ties into the rats. He's known as the architect. What did you call him?
Tyrant.
Thornbreaker turns to Harmonious Flame and says, "Now that you're officially one of us, I'd like to give you an opportunity to weigh in on how you'd like to deal with this problem. If you'd like to take a more diplomatic approach, we will try it, but if it fails, we're going to do this our way."
Harmonious Flame makes a face. This guy and his little cult has terrorized me when I lived here and made my life a complete nightmare. I don't really want to talk to him. I came here.
I look at Thornbreaker.
I came here to enact my vengeance upon his body. And I don't want to talk to this guy. He's completely crazy. He will not listen anyway.
Stormbreaker is going to smile, look at Thornbreaker, and say, "We made a promise to end the cult harassing Jenny. Now we do it, and we do it my way."
Thornbreaker turns to the open door and sees the rain falling outside, and a slight, almost sadistic smile forms on his pursed lips. And he says, I think that counts as enough research. I think it's time we make a promise, boys.
So Stormbringer is going to go out to the Locust real quick and top off with what I can.
Yes, and I imagine Harmonious Flame, Mike, you've got
We
6
should like
points of
Harmonious.
effort in the Locust.
Yeah, I have 1 left.
So,
I-
but
I'm
that's
going to
something-
grab 2 and because I used up a good bit healing myself off because I wasn't sure how much fighting we were going to do.
I'd
Okay,
like
is
to
anyone
take
else
1
gonna-
as well.
Okay.
Pete, you didn't use any essence in the last fight, right?
I used like 2 points total, and I gave some to the Raven. But I've got like 7 points, so I should.
All
be
right,
fine.
so then if I take 2, Dan takes 1, Ag, you take the remaining 3.
Okay.
So you top yourselves up, and I presume you're going to gather to perform the Sacred Hunt, I believe, was
Well-
the thing. I think that's where we're going to leave it for today, because we
Sure.
are getting on a bit in time. We started slightly late, but we're about a bit past the 3-hour mark now. So we're going to finish it there with Thornbreaker going, that's enough fucking research. Let's go and do this, guy. Right fucking now. Let's do this. So
I'll say, just so you guys know, we're starting with Stormbringer doing what he does best.
Yep. And next time we will therefore presumably most likely see the hunt of Corley Hawkhurst, or see how that goes. But that is for next time. We hope to see you then. Thank you very much for watching us today. Oh, there's one more thing. It's aspirations and XP.
Yes.
Before we finish up.
the show.
So let's start with Ag aspirations. What do you hit?
Definitely get myself into a fight.
Yep.
And
welcome.
destroy Hawkhurst and his cult. Yes,
Yes.
getting there.
Oh, Willy baby. Stormbringer.
So I had 3 this session. Complete the Sister Da. Remove the persons harming Jenny and beat Maul.
Yes. Yes. We'll
We
progress
are now well on our way to removing the persons harming Jenny. Unfortunately, we failed the Sister Da, so it did come to a completion of sorts. But I'm going to say that's probably a no.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that.
It's completed, but completed in a fail.
Yes. Yeah. Didn't quite achieve the aspiration, as it were.
But we did beat Maul, so I'm going to say that's probably 2 for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Stormbreaker.
cool.
My first aspiration was take down a Beshaloo, which we accomplished by dispatching Maul. My
Yep.
second is develop a deeper connection with Jenny, which I obviously us trying to bring her into the pack. I think we hit that one.
Mhm.
And then my third was earn more glory and or notoriety. I don't know if you think we did or didn't based on our actions.
You blew up a house in the middle of town, of which the highest ranking Bashilu of the nest left after you basically. She knows what happened. In fact, she started torching. She made the evidence torch itself on the spirit side. You blew it up on the flesh side. Very convenient. So basically, yes, there is some. I don't know if there's glory out of it, but there's definitely notoriety coming out of it.
All right, so then I guess that's three for me. And then the totem is the gathering the warband, growing the pack.
Yes, which tagged for 3 of you because 3 of you were in the pack when it got done.
Nice.
Just me now.
Johnny.
I had 2 that are relevant. Remove a Beshaloo nest, which we did when we burned it. Exploded the house.
Remove. Yes.
It's not on the map anymore.
And then the second one was about like find any more host nests in the territory. While he didn't do anything to explicitly try to find one, he knows that there's probably at least 2 now in the territory. One wherever Flame Gas is going to go, and the second for this rival Beshaloo faction.
Okay. So yeah, that in total, we are at 1 more XP for everybody, and there are 13 beats left over. So you're well on the way to next XP. So yes, we finish it up with everyone getting another point of XP. The pack gathering up, the newly forged pack gathering up with one of their half members now in a coma, another member sulkily looking after the first, getting sidelined as wolf-blooded do in wolf packs, and this is why this is the kind of thing that makes wolf-blooded very bitter about not being werewolves or not being normal humans. The pack gearing up to go and beat up somebody who they have given the name of by their latest pack member. and are ready to go and cause some havoc of a rainy morning in late spring. Thank you very much for watching or listening. Anyone who has stayed with us through the stream or who is going to be with us watching on YouTube. Just checking very quickly, Dan, did anyone say anything in chat that we haven't addressed that we need to sort of answer?
No questions at this point. People are commenting on the things that they enjoy, making comments about what we're actually doing in game, but no major questions right now. So thank you for everyone who joined us. Tune in next week. We will be doing Chapter 3, normal time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. And we will see you guys then. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.